Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the XoneBros. This is your positive gaming and Xbox community. If you like this show, before you've even heard it, go leave us a 5-star review.
Please.
Also, if you're here live with us, thank you for being live with us here in chat. We appreciate it. You really help make the show turn
To something special.
into something special. Yeah, so hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel here on YouTube, youtube.com/X1Bros. Guys, let's jump right into it. It's been a week. We had the Gaming Awards. We had...
all over the course of like 24 hours.
Yeah, we had the FTC trying to screw Microsoft.
That happened.
We had Super Shocker gifting 5 X1Bros membership.
It's been crazy.
It's been crazy. Thank you very much, Super Shocker. Appreciate it. It has been crazy. What a week. Let's do the FTC first, shall we?
Yes.
So the FTC is basically bringing a lawsuit against Microsoft. They must be Sony fans. One could argue that it's political and it's ideological, but I honestly just think they're Sony fans.
That's what it kind of looks like.
They all have PlayStations.
Yeah. I just think they like PlayStation. Yeah, because their reasoning is weak ass.
Yeah, no.
So explain what's going on then. Explain what's going on.
Go ahead, Jordan.
So the FTC had a closed door meeting. I think it was on Thursday. They came out Thursday night and basically said that they're filing to block the deal, the Microsoft Activision acquisition. Now that doesn't mean it's blocked. Basically, what they're going to do is they're going to go to court. The FTC is going to argue their point, and then Microsoft and Activision are going to argue their point, and then the judge, who I don't know who the judge is, because when I was looking into it, the FTC is suing them, and then I think the judge works for the FTC. So I was like, well, wait a minute. That doesn't make... Anyway, I don't know how all that part works, because I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's basically what's going to happen. I'm not very smart when it comes to this stuff. So
Well, here's what
I was,
they're saying. The deal at the FTC is suing, claiming that the deal would, quote, harm competition in high-performance gaming consoles and subscription services by denying or degrading rivals access to its popular content. Okay.
which they never said. Basically, this is what it comes down to, and this is what's really interesting about it. This entire deal, $76 billion, all comes down to one game. And that's Call of Duty. That's the only game.
What's funny is I think you saw Nintendo, they signed a 10-year deal with Nintendo, Call of Duty.
Yep.
Microsoft announced a 10-year. So
it all comes down to Call of Duty. The only major opposer to this, I mean, everybody has their own opinion, right? But like in the business world, I guess the only major opposer to this is Sony. And they've been... I
can't blame them.
Yeah, well, I mean, they're just doing their job to protect their console, right? But they're
doing their job.
They're talking about, Microsoft will take Call of Duty and do this and that with it. But what's interesting is everything Microsoft has done has disproven that particular point, because Microsoft has offered a 10-year deal to Nintendo for Call of Duty for the next 10 years. He offered a 10-year deal to Steam for the next 10 years. Gabe Newell actually came out, and I think this is actually going to be huge. I wonder if they'll use this in court, because a lot of people I don't know. Gabe Newell. He's very well known.
A respected person in the gaming world.
Yeah, he's very well known. He came out and said, I would have done it without the deal because Microsoft always does what they say. Basically, like he came out essentially in support of it, right? But yeah, which is a big deal that he said it. So that's one of the FTC's points, which Microsoft has already kind of debunked. There's other points that don't quite make sense to me. The FTC is basically trying to group gaming into like different spheres, which I can see their argument, but again,
high performance gaming consoles apparently is a new tier.
Yeah,
as opposed to low performance gaming consoles. What would be a low performance gaming console?
The Switch is what they referenced, right? So people are arguing, or the FTC is arguing that the Switch, because the Switch is not a console. So if the Switch isn't a direct competitor to Sony and PlayStation. So if Microsoft were to take this deal, then Microsoft would be a monopoly, which in my opinion is far, far from the truth. I mean, right now Microsoft is number 3 and might still maintain number 3 even after this acquisition, right? But it's just there's a whole 21-page document. We won't go through it all.
The 21-page document is basically trying to define console.
It's
in my opinion, a lot of the arguments are very poor.
I think so as well, and because because I'm not smart with the legal stuff, I went to a bunch of different like YouTubers today who read through it, like, and actually, a couple of them were actually lawyers. Oh, really? And a lot of them, this is just who I looked at. I didn't look at everybody. I listened to a whole bunch of people while working today, from different viewpoints and different things. But a lot of them basically, whether they like or dislike Microsoft doing what they're doing, they kind of all general consensus said that the FTC's argument was pretty weak, and Microsoft's
is going to
take
them apart.
If Microsoft brings their A game, they'll do very well in court. And what's interesting, and of course Microsoft is going to do this, but all the tweets that Microsoft came out with, I think they're ready to go. They basically said, hey, we're ready to prove that this deal's legal in court. Let's do it. So I think, and like you said, David, you don't spend $76 billion, and your lawyers aren't ready to go.
I'm not afraid.
You know what I mean? So
he's not afraid.
Yeah, he's not afraid.
So, but no, if you want to read the whole thing, you can form your own opinions on what you think. What the FTC is saying. I think some of their groupings of gaming are just, to me, I don't agree with them.
The government sucks. Let's leave it at that.
But I will say this, and I told you guys this before the show. I think this might be season 2 of our court series. Season 1 was Johnny Depp, Amber Heard.
This is season 2.
Season 2, Microsoft versus the U.S. government.
Yes.
Oh man,
and
it's going to be
case,
big.
The United States government is Amber Heard. And we're going to get some juicy stuff.
No, it's going to be interesting. I mean, whatever happens, right? We'll see. But
Defenestrator in chat says, I'm a lawyer and no one understands antitrust law.
Defenestrator, you should go and defend Microsoft. And Beast. I think Beast is a lawyer too, aren't you?
Oh, that's right. Beast is as well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you guys can explain some of the stuff that the FTC put in here, because some of it I was like, what?
What?
I feel like you just wrote that sentence to make you sound smart.
And it wasn't in MLA format.
What? Their document?
Their document.
Oh.
Yeah.
Fools.
They make it up as they go along, says the Defenestrator. Yeah.
Well, that's what I feel.
Sounds about right.
Again, just my opinion. The argument that the FTC has laid out, it feels like they were like, that doesn't count. Like, there's all these factors, and every factor that was against them, which I guess is good because you want to make the argument go your way, but every factor that was like against their argument, they're like, that doesn't count. We're going to put that over in this category. It's like, wait a minute, you guys are like kind of making up your own rules.
Well, we'll see how I have no doubt this deal will go through. I think the bigger deal was Nintendo, Xbox, Call of Duty, 10-year deal.
Yeah.
As soon as the Activision Blizzard
same with
thing
Steam and all
goes
that,
through,
yeah.
I think Xbox has a clear strategy. So Xbox to me is like dual personalities. The one personality, they have a clear strategy and they're moving forward with it. The other personality is empty. And that's the personality of where are our big games? Then that's one of the criticisms of the Game Awards yesterday is there was really no showing from Microsoft. You had Final Fantasy from PlayStation. Yeah, baby. But Microsoft didn't have.
You had Plague Tale was one of their only like big ones. That's a Microsoft title that was there.
Yeah, but Plague Tale to me is like a B+ game.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I might have to disagree.
You can disagree if you want.
Well,
it's definitely not top tier.
To be fair, compared to God of War and Elden Ring, everything's a B+ game.
No, but even like let's talk AAA status, right? So there's AAA status. I would put like a Grand Theft Auto in there, a Skyrim in there, right? A Plague Tale to me is just underneath that category.
I agree.
Right? Yeah.
I just don't think that those games come out very often.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, so Microsoft on the one hand is making these moves, or Xbox rather, and you're like, oh, okay, I see the strategy here. This is excellent. I like what you're doing. It's all Game Pass all the time. They did also announce hiking their game prices for first-party titles up to $70, which we all have opinions on. We don't like that, but once again, I think all it is an incentive to move into Game Pass.
Yeah.
So it doesn't, ultimately, Game Pass is where they want everybody. That side of the strategy, they're crushing it. Absolutely crushing it. Let's pretend Game Pass didn't exist this year. Let's pretend Game Pass isn't there. Microsoft is getting destroyed this year.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting about
Xbox rather.
What's interesting about
Xbox versus PlayStation.
What's interesting about Game Pass is that's what the FTC is going after. They're saying if Microsoft requires Activision, how did they basically worded it saying streaming service would monopolize the playing field and blah blah blah. That's basically and
The same FTC that passed Disney buying Fox, 21st Century, which already owns everything.
yeah.
Give me a
Well,
break.
what's really interesting is even in your article right there, this is why I think the FTC is just making up their own rules. Because the FTC in their document said that Microsoft misled the EU, saying that as soon going back to the Bethesda deal, that they were like, oh yeah, when we buy Bethesda or acquire Bethesda, we'll keep all the games on place or on all consoles, and then after they bought it, they turned around and said, oh no, they're all exclusive. Which, as far I was even looking yesterday, I couldn't find anything. People on YouTube were talking about it, couldn't find anything, and now the EU has confirmed that Microsoft did not mislead them over the ZeniMax deal. So it just feels like.
Some Poindexter.
Well, it just feels
some
like
Sony Poindexter with power.
It really does. It feels like the FTC is like, well, why are you guys so like,
I like the word
angry?
Poindexter.
You know. But anyway, I'm interested to see. But that's one of the things FTC was attacking is Game Pass and how successful it is.
Yeah, so sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, speaking of this deal, I think Jordan is correct. The only it comes down to Call of Duty. I feel because the only people in my opinion that do not want this deal to go through are Sony and those. You know,
That's about it.
I
The
don't
FTC.
see anyone else. I mean, because if you think about it, I mean, when this was initially, you know, kind of, we got the announcement that this deal was going to happen, or you know, the thoughts are going to happen. Activision Blizzard was in a weird state. Like there was some weird stuff going on, and it had been that company was kind of crumbling. I was nervous about a lot of the IPs that I really like going down the drain, just because of all the weird stuff that was happening. And then this deal was announced, and it almost felt like, okay,
Yes.
the teenager has a fatherly figure, a motherly figure. They're stepping in and they're going to help these things, and things are going to be set straight. We're going to continue to have these great IPs. And it was almost like, thank goodness, I'm glad that this deal is going to happen, because
Hallelujah.
it's a good thing for a lot of the IPs that I really, really like. And I really think that it comes down to Call of Duty with what
It
Jordan
does.
said.
Yeah, it's
because
all around one game.
why wouldn't you want all those other games to have just to have accountability? I don't know how else to describe it. Accountability on $1 billion scale. I don't know how else to describe that. But
So Dark Knight wrote in with a question and just said, will you guys talk about the FTC trying to delay Activision Blizzard acquisition and how they look like fools doing it? They absolutely do look like fools. Thank you very much, Dark Knight, for that question. Let's
Thank you, Dark Knight. Appreciate that.
no, I mean we already discussed it. I just wanted to shout him out for submitting a question. I do want to go to the Game Awards, and I want to start with the Game Awards with Rick Gaffney's question, who wrote in this week and said, Microsoft was a no-show at the Game Awards. Was it a good or a bad thing? I think they have their own showcase at the beginning of January next year containing everything that's coming in 2023. Yeah, I don't know. Again, like I was just saying, I feel like without Game Pass, Xbox would be getting crushed right now.
I agree. And it's games like God of War that is what Microsoft needs. I think they need. They have that kinda.
Yeah.
They have Plague Tale Requiem.
Yeah, again,
which,
I think that's.
I mean,
It's like a Meghan Markle B actor status game.
I don't know. I think
Smoking hot, but really never a superstar.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not God of War, right? Like God of War is going to sell PlayStations, right?
Yeah, exactly. Hell, I was at Best Buy the other day with my kids, and they have PlayStation with a giant God of War backdrop behind it, and I'm like, son, let's get this.
That's great.
And then I go to the shelf to get it, and it's empty.
Yeah.
But it sells consoles.
Well, no, and that's what I'm saying. Like Plague Tale Requiem, although a very good game, I don't think it's selling Xboxes,
not a
right?
console seller,
Where
no.
I think games like God of War are selling PlayStations. Halo was the original Halo trilogy sold Xboxes. You know what
Gears
I mean?
sold
Gears
Xbox.
sold Xboxes. Yeah, the original Gears. I think, and don't get me wrong, I think Gears 4 and 5 were still really good, but I feel like Xbox just needs that. Maybe need is a bad word. Maybe it's more hope, but I think they need that single player linear top tier AAA experience, and that's what God of War, Horizon, Forbidden West. That's what those games are doing.
it's true.
PlayStation knocks it out of the park with their exclusives. Like that's what they're good at.
Yeah.
It's true. However, the less flashy, successful thing that's going on is Game Pass.
No, that's what I'm saying. Without Game Pass, once Microsoft's able to deliver it on this other half here, we're off to the races.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Imagine they have Game Pass and a game like maybe Fable will be that game. Maybe Fable will just knock it out of the park and it'll be a top tier experience. Right?
Yeah, interesting question. Rose City Gamer asks, "Can Starfield be a console seller?" I think they want it to be.
I think they're trying to get it.
I think that's the aim. I mean, we heard that interview with what's his face,
Todd Howard
What's
last week.
his face?
Yeah, what's his face?
I mean, it could be if
he said he's feeling the pressure that Xbox wants it to be like a marquee title for the brand.
If it's a sci-fi Skyrim, it could totally be. Imagine a Skyrim that's released today. Remember what Skyrim did for it was for gaming.
It's a single player game, and we would all sit on chat playing it.
Yeah, it's one of the games that I purchased on every device that I have. I think did I originally play it on PlayStation? I think I might have.
Yeah, because you didn't like your in-laws get you a PlayStation 3.
Yeah.
You didn't have an Xbox 360 at
No,
first?
he did.
I did,
but they just bought him a PlayStation 3.
Yeah, I have really cool in-laws. They know me. They know their audience. But Skyrim. Look at what that did to gaming in general. Look at what before that. I feel like studios were small. After that game, when how much they invested into that game, that development, you had hundreds of people playing that. I mean, I think the only other developer that made that kind of commitment, I don't know how else to put it, is Rockstar.
Yep.
That put that kind of commitment into a single game. Imagine if we get that for Xbox exclusively, or Microsoft exclusively, I guess. So. Yes, to answer that question, that's a really great question. I believe that yes, Starfield could be that game.
It absolutely could be.
But I mean, Ragnarok, man. I mean, God of War, like, it is so good. And so, I mean, and props to Sony for having these IPs. And God of War has been around for a very long time. Their last version, or just the initial God of War on PlayStation 4 was a risk to change the play style of God of War because it's different. It's much different than the action style game that it was before. And they turned it into just a cinematic storytelling marvel that was very fun to play.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. In short, Rick Gaffney, he asks the no-show by Microsoft was a good or bad thing. I think it's bad. I think until we get that, it's always going to be the criticism of Microsoft. Some big title that is announced or released or shown. Well, if they have something in January, we will get something on Starfield. More on Starfield.
Xbox,
because we're getting close to the release.
They've had chances to do it. They've had Halo, right? They've had Gears. They've had these chances to do it, and Gears wasn't bad, but there's just this level that.
Well, I think
other IPs from Sony are hitting.
Yeah,
like The Last of Us, like they're hitting these games at such a high level that how do you?
Well, I think especially with Halo, it brought to light that, and this is David saying this is the other half of Microsoft that I think they need to work on, which we've talked about before. It's hard to explain. I think it's a developer and a publisher thing. Like I think Sony. I don't know what they do behind the scenes or how they treat their developers, but it seems like they all have a good workflow. Like their stuff works. Their games come out. They're not a buggy mess. They deliver on the hype that was created around them. Whereas you have Halo, in my opinion, the flagship title for Xbox. There would be no Xbox without Halo, and that's what we got. You know what I mean?
Wait a minute. But that's apples to oranges, I think, because
I agree, David. I think it's not the same thing.
Yeah, because Halo campaign was not buggy.
Well, I'm not talking about just about bugs, but Halo Infinite's campaign, as good as it was, it's not the best in the series, No, whereas I think God of War, and even for Horizon Forbidden West, both those games, their first iterations took their respective genres and games to the next level. Okay, but their sequels did the same thing again.
In fairness, is the latest Horizon considered as good as the last one?
It's on par, if not better. At the worst, it's just as good as the first one. And the first one was very well done.
Yeah, real quick. Super Shocker just gifted another 5 XoneBros memberships. Thank you very much. Super Shocker in the house tonight, coming at us from the East Coast.
What I'm getting at is I think either Sony as a publisher manages their studios better, and Microsoft needs to work on that.
Perhaps.
Because I don't know if it's a 343 thing. I think some of it is 343, and I think some of it is Microsoft as a publisher.
Remember what I said a while ago. Phil Spencer is the guy to get us Game Pass. Is he the guy to get us these next level games?
Can shooters attain that kind of caliber? That's the problem too.
Oh yeah, I think so. Doom, I would put Doom up there.
Yeah, but that's single. That's
which now Microsoft owns,
no,
right?
I don't know that a shooter can actually attain that kind. I think you're talking two genres. When you look at these story types of games, I think Spicy's making a really good point here. They are all one type of. They're in one genre, an action adventure / RPG.
Yeah, but I would take,
and they're not necessarily open world either.
Yeah, they're linear. I mean, whenever we talk about games that, are just outstanding exclusive from Sony, we're generally speaking of single player adventure linear gameplay.
But this is what I'm saying. Like Doom and Doom Eternal are top tier experiences. Wolfenstein is a top tier experience.
Yeah. And
Halo
those will come.
Is a good experience. I would not call it a top tier experience compared to others in that genre.
And those are single player.
Also, on their multiplayer, I've been watching some Forge matches. Forge.
Look,
Forge is a game changer, man. I watched Halo Infinite multiplayer paintball matches, and it's hilarious.
Look, Halo's moving in the right direction. My criticism is whether it was mismanaged by the publisher or 343 or what. Why was this not all dealt with before the game launched?
Bro, I think you got to go to some therapy.
Did you just say bro?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Listen, bro.
I think you move on from Halo, man. We got to move on. They broke your heart.
Well, they did.
It's time to
I think that does have to be said. I'm disappointed.
No, I don't disagree with you guys.
No, but it's really, I mean, and right now we're looking at all the awards. We're coming off of a new release from a God of War release, right? We're coming off of the hype that happens when every 6 years you get a God of War, and that's kind of what the Game Awards showcased. Just how, I mean, half of the show was the voice actor from Kratos.
Yeah, he did give a pretty long speech.
He gave like a 45-minute thank you speech. And everybody let it happen. Usually they would move people off the stage.
I wouldn't mess with that guy. I'm not going to mess with Kratos.
Yeah, Pedro Ramos as well as Slick and Twisted both bring up good points. Pedro basically says Xbox announced all these studios not that long ago. Games will come, but they're probably still working on these massive games. And Slick and Twisted says something similar. He says, we are waiting for the Bethesda games to start rolling in, along with Obsidian. I think in a year or two, these will all be top-tier single-player experiences.
I agree with that. I 100% agree. But going back to Halo, which I think should be one of Microsoft's flagship games, had problems with Halo 4, had problems with Master Chief Collection, and had issues with Infinite. That's 3 game development cycles. Like, what's going on over there? Is it a Microsoft issue?
What's interesting too is you could tie all those launches to the maybe not Halo 5 necessarily, but to multiplayer aspects of the game. Mm-hmm. Like those are what made those games kind of falter. You don't have to deal with that with a single player campaign.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot more focus that could be said. But
I guess you're right.
And that's what I was getting at right now, because we're coming off the hot tails of a Game Awards where we're seeing just these exclusives that are just so good on PlayStation. What I'm getting at is agreeing with them. We have things in the pipeline that will hit us eventually, but right now it's good to see games succeed, and I am a PlayStation fan. I love gaming on if I were to choose though, I would choose Xbox because of the achievements I feel that's where
I'm
my friends
invested.
are. Yeah, we're invested in that. By the way, my gamer score is 77777 right now.
Hey, that's pretty impressive.
I took a
You
picture
should
of
just
that.
not change it.
I'm not playing Xbox anymore. I'm moving to PlayStation just to keep it on that. But no. It's fun. It's great to see that, but we are sitting down and watching just these great games that aren't on Xbox, and it's really frustrating to see that at this point right now.
Well, and it's not that I don't trust Microsoft as a publisher. It's just I'm looking at what they've like Forza Horizon has done very well under Microsoft, right? I'll give them that. But your flagship, the reason Xbox is here is because of Halo, right? That is, in my opinion, I don't think it is anymore, was your flagship title. And I don't think, like I said a few weeks ago, I think PlayStation gives their games the respect they deserve.
You're right.
And I don't think Microsoft does, at least now. Maybe with Starfield and all these other games that are coming out, that's just how I feel with Halo. Like, I feel like Halo was mismanaged. And yes, I know it's only the one game, but that's kind of to the point as well. We only have that game in Forza.
Well, I think
and I guess Gears.
To
right?
your point, I think it's a matter of focus. Right?
Yeah.
Like Microsoft is not necessarily focused on hardware and selling hardware right now. They're selling subscriptions.
Yeah.
Sony, their focus is on selling hardware, and what sells hardware is games.
Yeah.
And that's what we're seeing. That's been their focus forever. And Microsoft has kind of just lateraled a little bit, and we're seeing that. And so that, I mean, we praise what Game Pass is doing for everyone, but at the same time, that focus may be detracting from getting these IPs that we want.
Well, that's why I'm hoping games like Starfield can be the Game Pass's version of God of War, or even games like Avowed. I'm very excited to see what Avowed's going to be doing, right? Hopefully those games can be Game Pass's version of Horizon and God of War, but all I'm saying is it feels like when Sony goes to their first-party studios, they're focused and they have a goal, and they, for the most part, deliver on that goal. And I feel like Microsoft gives us mediocre experiences and fixes them later. And I would count Sea of Thieves as that as well. Sea of Thieves is a great game now, but when released was a mediocre experience.
Again, the multiplayer. Let's look at the multiplayer game that Sony gave us. What's the
It's like that's exclusive to Sony?
No, that was exclusive to Sony that they gave refunds on. What's the game? The space game?
Oh, No Man's Sky.
No Man's Sky. Look at when No Man's Sky was exclusive on Sony's stage, and Sony was making a big deal about it, and it flopped. I think it flopped in large part due to Sony overpromising there, right? I mean, I think multiplayer is just different.
But then they learned their lesson, and we got games, and after that we got God of War, Horizon, God of War 2, Horizon 2.
Yeah, all single player.
Yeah.
But anyways, good question, Rick Gaffney.
So basically, it comes down to this, David.
Yeah.
Xbox is for people with friends. PlayStation is for people without friends.
Get a PlayStation if you have no friends.
I guess it comes down to that. And I'll respect it. I want to have no friends if that lets me play.
In chat, Slick and Twisted Hellblade might actually maybe better than God of War when it comes to the storytelling and camera work. Hellblade is a similar. I don't know if I'd say similar game, but it is a similar. It tells its story the same way.
Sure.
In one camera, and it's very cinematic, right?
Yeah.
So and that could be it. I hope it is
Audiomatic.
I worry with Microsoft and their first party studios.
Yeah.
I just want the best for them, guys.
Yeah, let's jump into the Game Awards now more deeply. Thank you, Rick Gaffney, for that question. Gamer Like Dad writes in and says, I'd like to hear your take on the Game Awards. He says, I'm actually working out here in your neck of the woods right now, Lehi, Utah. Woo, Gamer Like Dad, welcome to Utah. He says, I'll definitely try to catch the show live. And then Captain Obvious wants us to discuss the kid rooting for Bill Clinton.
The Bill Clinton kid.
So the Game Awards, let's do an overall. Let's do first a 10,000-foot view of the Game Awards, and then we'll dive in deeper. I hate the Game Awards. I think that they're boring. I think I would rather watch paint dry. What I like about the Game Awards, though, and when I say that, that's the presentation. Like, I just not an award. Spicy said it, I think, on the pre-show.
You hate the Oscars too.
We're not award show people.
I am not an award show person. It's just not
award
just for the record.
Award show formats are 1990. I just don't think we are built for them anymore.
Just for the record, I actually thought it was pretty good this year. I watched the whole thing. I enjoyed it.
And I would concur with Jordan. I think it's been the best game show awards ever.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I hate award shows.
Yeah, I find myself just like watching it and then skip game trailer.
Well, yeah.
Skip.
Don't watch it live or you're going to lose 4.5 hours of your life.
Yeah, it's way too long. We get a lot of what I do is I go to the YouTube Xbox page, Xbox YouTube page, and I watch all those game trailers that dropped.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
I do think there's value in having awards for games, and I like that aspect. I like seeing who won, but I do not like watching that presentation. It's just not. It's just not me. It's just not me. So I give it an F.
Give it a D- at least.
I give it a
better than.
I give it a subjective F.
It's better. I mean,
It's subjective. It's subjective.
Well, no,
It's
I
true.
It's because
well, do you know what was funny when Al Pacino came out at the very beginning? So Al Pacino comes out,
yeah, that was cool.
and he's like, I just can't read the prompter. Like he's like I'll just hang out here. He just hung out for a little bit. Then they probably made the font larger, and then he could read his part. But then he was like, "Yeah, I'm not a gamer, you know.
to
my
me,
kid's game."
To me, it has that like.
And I really like Al Pacino.
Yeah.
I think he's an amazing actor,
Director.
Or what's that?
Oh no, Al Pacino. Yeah. Why was I thinking of? I'm thinking of like Martin Scorsese. Anyway, go ahead.
I think he's phenomenal. It's gaming, you know, like, but maybe it's okay to have they had a whole bunch of actors that have nothing to do with gaming, and I think to your point, David, they're turning it into a Hollywood.
It's like we're going backwards. Like gaming should be pushing forward and saying, okay, what sucks about award shows? Answer: actors. So let's not do that. Like, what else? And then just move on from let's push it forward, right? Like we're gaming. We're at the cutting edge of technology constantly. Why are we going backwards in this? It feels.
But how
Well, that's the
else
thing,
do
like,
we-
how-
feels
like,
swarmy.
I appreciate what Jeff Keighley did to create this show because I do
No, I
think
appreciate the awards.
Yeah,
I think the awards themselves are very important.
and I like that he did it because I do think gaming needs recognition, like with the voice actors, you know,
Sure.
the game directors. Like I think
software engineers, everybody.
It is an art just like movies are. But I mean, but like what Mark was just about to say, how else would you do it?
How else? I know. Well, maybe not get people that have nothing to do with the industry. That's what I'm getting.
But
at.
even Kratos, the voice actor for Kratos, was like, I got to hang out with Al Pacino.
I know.
Like, it's cool.
Yeah, but for a view, like I'm saying, I just skip. It's just way too long. I skip forward to the relevant parts that I want to see. I want to find out who won.
Well,
I want to see the game trailers, and that part they nail. It's everything that it's wrapped in that I freaking hate.
Hey, there was Flute Guy this year.
Okay, Flute Guy.
Yeah, Flute Guy
And
was
Bill Clinton
legit.
kid.
Yeah, there was the last 30 minutes was fire, as the kids are saying today.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool. That guy was pretty cool.
Dude, and did you see him switching? He went flute, recorder, bass flute.
He had like a side
Like-
trombone thing too.
Yeah, it was insane.
I don't know how you, or just to wrap up the awards, I don't know how you do it differently, but I think you can do it differently. I think it's just become this like,
Well, you can tell they're using the Oscar format,
Yeah.
and the
I don't like
Oscars
it.
have
the Oscars
lost
are dead.
a lot of
the
their
Oscars are dead.
Their
the VH1
flair.
awards are dead. The MTV Music Awards are dead. The Grammys are dead. Like, why are we
Jeez,
doing that?
there's a lot of awards
Why are we doing? There's even more
I know
than
how
that.
we fix
The People's Choice Award. The
Nickelodeon
there's
awards.
tons of them, right? Like, why are we doing that? Like, let's do something better.
Yeah. Have a slap contest right on stage with Will Smith.
The administrator suggests fewer actors. And he says more ex-president Orthodox rabbi.
So
we gotta address this.
Yeah, the Bill Clinton kid.
There was a kid that for
I think he was like 15.
we can talk about
A French kid. He was French.
Oh, is he?
It was at
Jerry's
the
accent?
It was at the end of
I
the
think that
show.
was a fake accent.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah.
It was at the end of the show. They just announced the Game of the Awards.
Game of the Year.
Game of the Year Award 2. Spoiler: Elden Ring.
Which was well deserved. Good for Miyazaki.
Yeah. He walks up with his entourage of the developers. They walk up and this kid walks with him. If you act like you know what you're doing, people will let
Randomly
you through.
out of the crowd, and he stands there behind them the
What?
entire speech.
He like
and then-
walked up the stairs and he was like, "Good job, good job." Like it was like it looked like he was a part of it.
Yeah.
And when they are done, he goes up to the mic, and here's what he says in a French accent. He said, "I think I want to thank everybody and say that I want to nominate this award to my Reformed Orthodox Rabbi Bill Clinton. Thank you, everybody."
And
And the crowd kind of like clapped and was like,
what?
okay.
I didn't know what to do. And then Keeley comes up and totally ignores it, and the show goes on. But he became known as the Bill Clinton kid.
Yeah, and apparently he's been arrested.
Yeah. Jeff Keighley tweeted afterwards that he was arrested. But the memes, by the way, have been on point.
There's the one.
Yeah,
Invaded by a dark spirit.
the invaded by a dark spirit
They're getting
meme is my
spicy.
favorite.
That is the funniest.
Because it's Elden
because
Ring.
it's Elden Ring, and this kid invaded their stage. Oh, that's funny.
So I was telling you guys before the show, I do think it's a shame that it took away a little bit from the Elden, because everybody kind of focused on that after the show rather than like Elden Ring winning. So I feel a little bit bad for them, but I'm sure the developers probably don't care. They got to say their piece. And hey, speaking of Elden Ring, From Software is making a new game. Well, not new game. So it's Armored Core 7 or 6 or something like that. But From Software is making it, and it looks awesome. So Armored Core, From Software made those games way back when. I think there's like 5 or 6 of them on the PlayStation. I'm not going to pretend like I played them. I think I played one of them back on the PlayStation 2, but I am really excited for it. It looks good. Everybody that is a fan of Armored Core is super pumped that the series is coming back. I'm really pumped for this new From Software game.
That one got it going on.
Well, and can I also say I love that Miyazaki got up there and he said, I don't know if this is the right time to say this, but I'm going to make better games than this one.
Yeah.
Well, that's what he said in his speech.
Yeah.
It's actually funny. He gets Game of the... Like, what a flex. I know. He gets Game of the Year, makes one of the greatest games of all time, and says, you know what? This isn't my best work. I'm going to do better.
He makes a 10 out of 10 masterpiece. He's like, we can do better. And everybody else is like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
How do we...
I mean, he said it in a very polite way, and he wasn't trying to be rude or anything, but it's just like, I think he's just... I think I feel like he's like Todd Howard or Todd Howard and the guy that does Death Stranding, Hideo Kojima. I think they have an excitement about making these
They want to
games.
create.
Yeah,
and they're
exactly.
master creators.
Yeah. And I just, it was just funny that he said it in a more articulate way, but when you translate it, it's like, I'm going to make some better games.
Yeah, this game was all right. I'll make some... I'm on stuff that's way better.
So,
But
Game of the Year, Elden Ring, everybody's happy with that.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, it was up against God of War and Plague Tale. I think you can argue that God of War could win as well, but I think what Elden Ring did for Elden Ring is the peak of From Software games, and what they did for the RPG genre this year, I think it deserves all it got. And just to be fair, God of War did run away with quite a few awards throughout the show. So
I think it's like the only category it was in that it didn't win.
yeah, actually, I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure it won everything.
Yeah.
In some categories, there were 2 nominations from the same game, like the voice actor for him and then the voice actor for the kid.
I know, yeah, and that kid did a good job. I'm not beating God of War Ragnarok yet. I feel like I'm tying things up, but
I still think they need, like,
good.
I just don't understand their category. I think they need to tighten up their categories as well. So, for instance, one of their categories is ongoing game, and the winner was Final Fantasy's MMO.
yeah, fair.
Which is fair. But look at the nominees. Here's the nominees. Fortnite, okay.
Also could have
Won.
respectively
Genshin Impact,
Yeah.
Apex Legends, Destiny 2. Why is Call of Duty not on there? Why? There's like...
Well, because Call of Duty sort of...
It's an ongoing game.
It's true, but it's a gray area.
Warzone, but Warzone...
It's kind of and it's kind of not.
No, but Warzone is...
Yeah, with Warzone 2 launching.
Warzone is
But that-
Fortnite competitor.
That's packaged into their new release.
It's still an ongoing game, though.
Sort of, but it isn't. It's the gray area.
It's an ongoing game. You pay
You could
$60 for an update every couple of years.
You could argue that it could be either way, whereas
And look,
the others you can't.
what's
They're ongoing.
And the other thing is, what's the newest game on here? Genshin Impact, right? That Genshin Impact is the newest game on this list of nominees.
That's why it's an ongoing game.
Well, and
I mean,
see,
that's why
like-
the category exists.
Yeah, but see, I
maybe-
think that's a flawed category.
yeah, see, but you could also put like, why is World of Warcraft not on there?
Exactly.
I mean, maybe the latest expansion didn't hit their cutoff date, right? But there's a lot of games that could be on there, like Warframe. Why, I don't know. It is.
Wait, what's the cutout date? It's not. It's 2022.
Well, I think they have a cutoff date, and then they all have to vote.
What, like October 31st or something?
Yeah, probably something
That
like that.
sucks.
Yeah.
Well, it has to be.
So
when did
any
Ragnarok
game
come out?
releases after that is considered the next year.
The other thing that I think is a flawed category is community support.
Oh, yeah, that one is kind of
WTF.
best Discord.
Best social media presence.
Wasn't there a best Discord community?
Yeah.
Was
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
there
pretty
was.
sure there was. That's. I mean,
can we go to mobile game though? Okay, but no wait, there's another one on there that I saw that I think best multiplayer game, Splatoon 3. I'm
I'll
sorry.
pull this up so everyone can see. What I'm looking
I
at.
think Splatoon is fantastic. In fairness, I've not played Splatoon 3, but if it's anything like the other Splatoons, okay, that's nice.
I think they have to give Nintendo there.
But I just.
Well, what was it
I'm-
up against?
That's what I want to see. I want to see the
it was up
I'll
against,
pull
like,
that up.
Call of
I'll pull
Duty
that up.
and-
Yeah, sorry.
multiplayer game. It's against Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, Multiverse, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, and Overwatch 2. Once again, how is Fortnite not on there? How is I'm just very very confused on their categories.
I think it's hard because a lot of games dip into multiple categories, right?
No, that's my point. That's my point.
So it is, yeah.
Because you could argue this is just like PvP, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge is up there with Call of Duty and I'm just very confused on that category.
Yeah.
And so I don't is Splatoon 3 the best multiplayer game of the year? No.
It is. It did go up against Kirby in best family game.
Which basically, I'm not gonna lie, that should just be best Nintendo game.
That should just be like the Nintendo. Yeah,
Yeah,
because look at
best
the
Nintendo game. Like
go
that-
back to the family games. Let's see. Lego Star Wars,
Mario
okay.
and Rabbids, Nintendo
Mario,
Switch
Nintendo
Sports.
Switch, and Splatoon 3. Yeah.
4 of the 5 are Nintendo
Yeah.
exclusives.
Yeah, that's that's my problem. Is it's a little.
Do you think too many categories?
I think there's too many categories. I think it needs to be tightened up too. I think there needs to be. It's just confusing some of those categories.
Don't the Academy Awards have a lot of awards they just don't announce?
I think
there's
so.
like the B show.
Yeah, yeah,
And then there's the show that you watch on TV.
yeah.
So here's role playing game of 2022. Pokemon Legends is up there, Jordan. Xenoblade Chronicles and Elden Ring.
I think Xeno or Elden Ring could have won, and I think Elden Ring is better than Xenoblade 3. Xenoblade 3 is a fun game. I really like the Xenoblade, but Elden Ring is the best game of the year.
The other one I have problems with is sports / racing. Those are two wildly different categories. Put racing games against each other and put sports games.
See, but
Do they have enough racing
Do they have
games
enough
that
racing
launch?
games? Yeah. See.
No. So and that's the problem. Well then why is this a category? If there's not enough games, then just don't have it. A racing game should just be put up against, I don't know, multiplayer. It could be a multiplayer game. It could be something.
What if it isn't?
So Gran Turismo 7. Gran Turismo 7 won.
I guess what we're seeing is the challenges of genres and games with a yearly annual award show.
You also got in the sports racing game Ollie Ollie World. I would not put that in the same category as a FIFA or an F1 or an NBA. Ollie Ollie World.
Yeah, it's a side-scrolling skate arcade game. Yeah, it.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, that's funny.
The one award I don't get because I feel like is completely subjective is most anticipated. I think you can actually just get rid of that one altogether.
Yeah, that's a foolish or rename it best trailer.
Wait, most anticipated. Yeah, what is that
Yeah,
even?
so it was Hogwarts Legacy, Final Fantasy, Starfield, Resident Evil 4, and The Legend of Zelda. And The Legend of Zelda won, rightly so. I think that's probably the most anticipated game.
But not. I don't know. Not to Jordan. Jordan thinks Zelda's a 7 out of 10, right?
It's true, but
No.
But
I recant that statement.
But
all right?
most
It is a very
anticipated-
it's redacted.
yeah, but most
like the
anticipated
FTC, I've
game
redacted it.
is a foolish category. That's a stupid
that is
category.
so subjective.
And who gets up to accept that award?
The other one, the
game developers?
the studio. Hi,
We're working hard.
Guys, thanks for supporting our development efforts.
I think it's one of the quick ones they go through. The other one I don't think they need also is best adaptation, which is
Nobody cares about that.
yeah. Although
Nobody cares about
I
that.
do like that Ludwig one.
Oh yeah, best content creator.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a little miffed that we weren't nominated this year?
Content creator.
I agree.
A little myth
What's
that we
going
weren't
on?
nominated. I mean, Cutie Cinderella and Ludwig, if they're going to make it, we should be on that list. I mean, they are. I give it. They're A class, but we're right below, baby. We're right below.
Sure.
No, I
We're
like
right below.
Ludwig. I'm glad he won.
Ludwig.
I'm very excited
Ludwig-
for his chess event in a couple days. His
His boxing chess.
boxing event in a couple
Yeah,
days.
he's bringing it back, baby. No, he's
He's a good content creator. He
quality.
really is, yeah.
Quality. All right, here's one. No, okay, that one makes sense. But the way they put it, are esports athletes? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree. I think they are.
No.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
you want to get into this argument?
Yeah, go ahead. Give it to me.
I think. Well, I mean, physically, no, but
Yeah,
to be on
that's what an
top.
athlete is, though.
No.
You could be a competitor, best esports competitor,
No.
but you're not an athlete.
Yes.
Athlete is athletic ability.
What is the dictionary definition of
Mental.
athlete?
Athlete, someone with athletic ability.
But they are. Do you know the APM on every one of these people?
Why don't they refer to chess players as athletes?
I was actually just about to bring that up. Would you consider a chess player an athlete? I actually have no stake in this argument. This is
They're
between you. I don't
competitors.
care.
They're competitors, but they're not. My problem is the word athlete. Athlete is the root of athletic, right? So, like, if you don't have, has nothing to do with athletic ability. It has everything to do with.
I'll be honest. If I had faster APM, I could be a lot better at games.
You could say best skilled esport player. I don't know. They have skills, sure, but skills does not necessarily equal athleticism.
All right, I'm folding. I actually
let me drink to
I
that.
want to
I will-
give
I will drink to that.
the credit to. Here's the deal, though, David. What title do you give somebody that they're the best in the world at?
Esports competitor, best esports player. You just call him an esports player.
That probably
Player of the year.
because to attain that. Did you ever watch that?
To be the best.
To be the best.
Oh, it was a great documentary. It was
King
King,
of
of
Kong.
Kong. Did you ever watch that documentary? King
Oh,
of
yeah,
Kong?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, did you see that guy's
There's
like
that guy-
suing everybody on YouTube? He's like become an even bigger loser than he was
Oh,
back then.
the
Wait,
villain?
the dude with the villain?
Yeah,
guy that's
the hot
bad guy?
sauce
That
dude. The hot sauce dude.
That documentary had everything. It had villains. It had heroes.
Oh, they made you love the guy that's just learning in his garage, and he's got this like nice wife.
Yeah, I know. Nice one.
like,
And
"He's
he's
like
like,
He's a school teacher, just like this all
just
American
a nice
regular
guy
guy.
that wants to just do something great. And I love that there's this scene with his friend that's like smoking a cigarette. He's like, to try to be the best in the world of something. I'm not just saying good. To be the best in the world at anything is a significant accomplishment.
Oh yeah. No
And
doubt.
so that's athlete in my mind is a really great term at like describing a great person at what like greatness.
yeah.
So that's what I see when I see athlete. I get your definition
Yeah.
that is physical.
Yeah, we're misusing that word.
But at this, my mind sees like
You just switch it with player. They're the best player. The
Esports
best
player.
gamer. Best esports gamer. Like, yes, that's absolutely.
but it doesn't have the same like gamer is like, oh, okay, you don't take it seriously, but athlete, that's a
think
a
of a
term.
Greek
but
god.
to me, calling them athletes actually immediately makes me want to mock them.
I get what you're
Like
saying.
it actually takes away from what they've done because you're not an athlete. Like you're not on the same thing as a LeBron
Okay.
James, and LeBron James isn't on the same thing as you. It's completely different. One is an athlete, and one is a competitor
Would you say that
or a gamer.
So Mitchell Lowry in chat. Let's
Okay.
read his definition. An athlete is a person who is, in quotes, proficient in sports and other forms of physical
I
exercise.
don't consider gaming physical exercise.
Well,
Like-
at some games that's true. Like StarCraft players,
Have you
when
played
they're
on the
reaching
Switch balance board?
700 APM, and what I mean by APM is actions per minute. When you're hitting that level of dexterity with your fingers,
yeah, no, they're not athletes. I'm sorry.
okay, I have gaming thumbs. Look at those muscles. Okay,
Are poker players athletes?
so look, I want to show those off. Look at these muscles. Okay,
You do have gaming thumbs.
look at those. Those are from lots of hours.
That's quality.
I know. Look
That's
at that.
power.
Here, I'm actually gonna
raw
Here,
power.
Look at these. Look at these thumbs. Okay, I'm flexing my thumb right now. Okay, look at that.
That is power.
muscle.
Pedro Ramos brings up the best
Look
point.
at that sucker.
It's just to sound cool. Don't be upset, David. And that's my point. Yeah, that's exactly it. Athlete sounds better. That's why they're using it. But I actually think it takes away from
Super Shocker says gaming gut. But no, a lot. So David, what's interesting, if you were to look at a lot of the top tier 1% gaming players, they are all very fit people.
And South Korean, usually.
And South Korea. Actually, Jordan brings up a good point. South Korean gives you a huge edge in gaming.
Some edge there.
But no, they're running, they're exercising, they're on the top of their physical game.
Oh,
So
sure.
they could.
Sure, but they're not athletes.
I don't know. It's hard.
Esports is not an athletic endeavor.
I feel like I'm standing on a crumbling bridge.
Esports,
You're trying to put the bolts back in.
esports is a competition for sure. But just because they're like combining two words, sport, athlete. Like, well, no, esports is different.
Are fishermen athletes?
No.
Because that's another sport.
That one you could make more of an argument that it's an athletic endeavor.
Maybe fly fishing. Constant movement.
Eating potato chips as fast as you can.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
No, race car drivers and horse jockeys are both athletes.
David made a good point. Poker players.
Well, a lot of
considered
poker players are retired athletes.
Hey, speaking of athletes, total off topic, but I had a lot of fun watching it this week. Did you guys see the Liver King got exposed?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, for steroids?
Yeah.
Man, I mean, I think we already all knew.
Yeah,
if you didn't really
I saw
know,
him on a podcast that I really enjoy. Shout out to the PBD podcast. Hey, I'd love to come on your show sometime. But then he like apologized and like I messed up.
His
But
apology was
I don't find him genuine.
Well, yeah, because his
I'm sorry,
apology was not an apology.
I'm not saying I like him or dislike him in any way.
Yeah.
If you really like him or don't like him, I don't even know who he is, except for I know like
Except
the situation.
he looks like
Except
Zeus.
for I know I want to be ripped like him.
He's modern day. He's Zeus.
Yeah,
I don't even know who we're talking about.
want
The Liver King.
So he's a guy who claimed to get as shredded as he is only by eating liver, and
And like he's all natural.
Like Joe Rogan a while ago called him out. I was like, "There's no,
Joe Rogan said he's
you're
on
lying,
roids,
dude."
yeah.
And then finally there was this guy that did a documentary and like exposed him that he's doing steroids. Like clearly, yes, that's not just from eating liver.
I mean, he is Zeus.
Yeah, I don't have, but so I'm not saying. I have no horse in this race.
Yeah, neither do I. It was
But
big drama.
But in listening to him, I was like, some people I think have a talent at sounding sincere. He does not.
Well, his apology would disingenuous be the good word for it? Like it seemed he was only apologizing because he got caught. You know what I mean? It wasn't necessarily a sincere apology. It was just
to me,
and I don't think he really. It was almost like a Blizzard apology.
Well, to me, it's like it's like a Blizzard apology.
Yeah, it was like, hey, it happened.
apology?
Did they even say sorry?
No.
They were just like, hey, we got to be better.
No, they basically
Here's a
said,
trailer.
We have to address our apology. Here's our next trailer. That's how that one went.
No, and I'm not saying that he's. I am not even saying that he's not genuine.
Okay, yeah.
I am just saying that in the 2-hour interview that I heard, there was something there that I was like, I don't know if this is working for you.
So I'm looking at this guy. I have no idea.
Dude, his body, he's a god.
He
Like,
looks
that
to me
body.
like a guy that doesn't even care to give an apology. Like he's just.
Seriously.
No wonder it's going to be disingenuous. He's never had to do it.
Seriously, he sits atop the throne of Mount Olympus. Like he's what is he's 50 years old or something like that. Like despite
40.
what you say about him, the guy's jacked.
I want to say he's 44. I think.
Yeah, he is. Oh man.
Anyways, why did we bring that up? I don't even know.
Oh,
why.
it was the big drama this week. I think.
I think try to just throw that out there.
Yeah, it was the big drama this week. We were talking about athletes.
I learned about something because I don't even know who that
I would
guy
consider
is.
him an athlete. I guess.
It's the Liver King. Let's jump into some of our favorite trailers. We talked about the nonsense that was some of the things. Actually, some of the best parts. Oh, Flute Boy, by the way.
Yeah, flute guy.
If you guys just type in Flute Guy Gaming Awards, and you're in for a treat. Better, I submit, than the Rockstar Bethesda singer.
Nope. Nobody tops that guy. No one.
those two need to hook up.
Yeah, they need to be in the same
They
band
need a
together.
collab.
No, Mark coined Amber Heard as Flute Lady a few years back when
Thor? Or not Thor?
when Aquaman came out. So she's Flute Lady, and if she ends up doing a lot in Aquaman too, they need to bring a new flute scene to the world because Flute Guy dominated it. He is the flute guy.
Yeah,
It was awesome, and he played like
the
6
best-
flutes.
He should be in Hocus Pocus.
The best was at the end. He stands up and if you listen to it, like you could you can hear him just going, yes, yeah.
Like he was, and he
all right.
he turned around to the drummer and they connected, and it was just like
high-fiving.
his excitement. It's
had a
contagious.
moment.
Yeah,
Dude, he was on fire. Absolutely on fire.
Flute
Okay,
guy.
let's talk about so game of the year. We all agree. I mean, the competition. I think any of those games could have won, and it would have been absolutely.
Well, okay. Well, I'm gonna say this because I actually don't think any of those games could.
Oh, really? Who was on the nominations for this?
And people may be mad at me,
Hold on, let me go to
and
it.
I apologize for this. I do, but I do not think Stray should have won some of the awards that it won.
So you don't think it should have been on Game of the Year?
And I don't think it should have been in Game of the Year. It won Best Indie. Pull up the Best Indie category because there was another game in Best Indie that I was like, that should have won, not Stray. There, Best Indie.
A lot of people said Cult of the Lamb. Should have won.
And then Cult of. Was it
that's
Best
a-
Indie? No,
that's a
it was.
solid-
I don't think it was Best Indie. It was one of the categories. I was like, Stray.
Have you?
What you don't realize, Jordan, is how potent cats are on the internet.
See, and I'm going to say this. I think I'm just a dog person.
Okay,
And
well,
I think
then
I'll be
you're-
honest, there might be a bias there.
you're-
I think I'm a dog
You're
person.
proclaiming your bias.
Yeah.
I'm
a dog person.
I think I agree with you, but just don't underestimate the power of kittens,
cats?
The power of cats on the internet.
Okay, look, and I will be 100% fair. I never played Stray. I'm sure it's good.
Let me be clear. I'm just basing this on my biased
Yeah.
opinion. I am a dog person.
No, I'll play Stray so that I can say this with confidence. But I don't think it's to the same caliber of Elden Ring, God of War,
I
and
agree.
Plague Tale
I
Requiem.
do think though that having an indie game, giving the opportunity to be nominated for indie games, it makes sense that the best indie title was nominated for Game of the Year.
Well, if,
that was it right there. Best indie debut. Vampire Survivor should have won over Stray. 100% in my opinion. Just an opinion, everybody.
well, it's interesting. I feel like every year they add an indie title to the Game of the Year sequence.
yeah, I think it's.
You think
I
they
it's
just
like
have
a
to
nom-
put it in there? Okay,
I think it's.
yeah.
I think it's
I
like.
think it's pretty common. I mean, what was that one?
I don't have a problem with it being included.
Yeah, but if it would have won.
But it shouldn't. I don't think because it's. I think it should be there on merit, and I don't think indie titles necessarily should be able to. I think Game of the Year titles. You can't. How do you compete with God of War? How do you compete with Elden Ring? This is a game that's way outclassed.
Yeah,
in
no,
that
it definitely
Well, look,
is.
I'm not.
The power of the pussy.
People. People in chat in the comments can tell me if I'm sure it was a good game. It didn't
The
for
internet
me
loves
personally.
pussies.
Yeah,
It really does.
for me personally, it didn't like super interest me. So someone let me know if it was a good game or not. But I don't know.
You've been sitting on that one.
I have
Yeah,
been wanting
yeah.
to say. In my head, I'm like, do I say this? Does this get me in trouble?
Yeah.
And then I went
My
for
wife's gonna bring it up.
Pussycats, pussies. Like that's the nickname for.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Another
for
word. Well, similar to our athlete discussion, I'm all about using words properly.
That's fair. I think it shut Jordan up though.
No,
What are you
yeah,
talking
but
about?
I think it was that one that made me think like Stray won best indie debut like against Vampire Survivor because I mean, look, I haven't played Stray, so I guess I shouldn't have this opinion. But if you haven't played Vampire Survivor, dude, that game is solid. It is
does.
fun. It's $2. Like it is the
does
best.
feel like-
it is one of the funnest games I've
It
ever
does
played.
feel like you kind of can't have that opinion though. 'Cause
Yeah,
you've-
I know.
'cause you've
I've not played.
Stray.
You know, I'm going to play Stray, and then I'm going to come back and with
Okay.
this solid opinion. I'm playing Stray this week.
So Defenestrator says Vampire Survivor looks like a Super Nintendo game. To be fair, 99.9% of indie games all right now are trending pixel art.
Yeah.
So that's a
was a-
very
And the game was only $2 on Steam. But no, okay, I'm going to recant everything I just said.
Take it back,
I am
yeah.
going to play Stray,
Okay.
and then I am going to come back with a valid opinion of Vampire Survivor should have won that category.
You're probably right. But I'll say it again. Don't underestimate the power of cats on the internet.
I won't say it again.
Yeah, but
That's
we
actually-
all know what you're thinking.
You know Lyric?
The P of the P.
You know Lyric?
Yeah.
I think he's a great streamer. So he's one of the early streamers that have gotten big. He basically attributes his success not to his streaming, but because his logo is a cat, and he does a lot of cat things. Like he's got a cat that sits with him and plays.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just watch Lyric play. Stray.
You don't even want to touch
Yeah.
it. No, yeah, I think I want you to have a basis for your argument.
No, I will.
Jordan.
Well, the thing is like it's just. I'm sure the game has a lot of fun to it, but it just didn't interest me. You know what I mean?
Because
That's
you're a
why-
dog person.
Yeah, probably because I'm a dog person. But no, I'm going to play it and try it. And I'm going to come back with my opinion, and then there will be some validity behind it.
regardless, I still don't think it should be on the pedestal with God of War and Elden Ring.
But like you said, I think that's a comment. Like it's something that they're doing.
They've done that before.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
Can we talk about mobile game of the year, because it was Marvel Snap, and I talked about Marvel Snap last week, and I think over the span of 3 days last weekend, I put in 20 hours to that game. I am hooked.
It's fun.
They do such a fantastic job. It's a fantastic game loop.
It has been added to my card collecting or my card game category on my computer.
Now
that I rotate
there
through.
was some shadiness that Jordan the Man and I discovered last week, though. When I bought the Game Pass,
The Battle Pass.
not the Battle Pass. Sorry, not knowing that there was only like 2 days left in the Battle Pass. And when you buy the Battle Pass, at the top it said like 1 day, 12 hours left. And Jordan and I noticed that. And Jordan on his phone had not yet bought the Battle Pass.
But when it popped
And
up.
at the top of his phone, there was no timer.
Now, to be fair, what happened was like when you beat the tutorial, it says buy the battle pass, right? And on that screen, when you're prompted to buy it,
It
you're like,
shows?
oh, it's only $10. It never showed. And that's when I was like, wait a minute, David, look, there's
That's
only
a little
there's only a
shady.
day left, and they're prompting me to buy this, right?
Yeah, that's a little shady.
Call of Duty action there.
I would say that's not a little shady. That's like super villain.
But
level ethics.
well, hold on.
I mean, it is Marvel. It is
But
Marvel
hey,
villain,
wait.
Marvel Snap.
To be fair, that was the initial, what do you call it, a splash screen or something?
Yeah.
That the advertisement screen where you can buy it from, right? And I almost did if I wouldn't have known, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
that's
when
sketchy.
I did go back after that initial advertisement screen, it does tell you after that.
Yeah, that's still
But
sketch.
still,
You
yeah,
should have
'cause,
all
like, yeah.
information on that Battle Pass.
But it's the same. So you showed those pictures to me.
Yeah.
Screenshots of your phones. After you buy the Battle Pass, you can see the date. That same screen before you buy the Battle Pass, you can't see.
yeah,
the date.
so when you're
That is
when you're sitting
sketchy.
on the Battle Pass screen, it changes.
No.
The countdown
So what
timer.
it was is when you complete the tutorial battle pass, which is free, the battle pass will pop up and it'll say buy the current battle pass now. That is the screen that didn't tell you. When I went back after I said no, because David told me there was only a day left, when I went back to the battle pass screen, at that point it showed me how the timer. But
I think we were-
that's what I'm saying. No,
No, look, because you're on the.
I know. But what I'm saying is that's the advertisement screen.
Oh, that's the advertisement
yeah,
screen.
That's because it pops up.
Are you sure?
Yes, that's
Because-
that's the initial advertisement that it shows you. When I said no, I went back to the Battle Pass screen and then it showed me a timer. But it's still
That's
a
still
little shady.
That's still very shady.
Even the average. It was like when you log into Call of Duty. Would you like to buy the Battle Pass? No, there's only a day left.
I would like to dive in deeper, because last week I had just tried out the game and I was like a few hours in, and then we'll go through this. I really enjoy. I think their gameplay loop is fantastic. They've done a good job. It is by the developers of Hearthstone. I'm not as
It's
deep
Ben-
into it.
Yeah, it's Ben Brode's company, which Ben Brode was the director of
Yeah,
Hearthstone.
he's the reason
and-
Hearthstone is fun.
Yeah.
And
That's a good way to put it.
I'm not a huge superhero guy, a huge Marvel guy, but their gameplay loop is fantastic. The way they make you want to upgrade your cards, they kind of take this roundabout way. So you level up to upgrade your cards.
I think the reason they do it is
It's a
because
grind.
Well, it's a grind, but I think another benefit of the way they do their card system is as you unlock more cards because you're in pool systems. I
Yeah.
think it kind of keeps you within a ranking of people that have similar cards
Yeah.
to you. You know what I mean? Because you're on a progress track, and they, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the thing about it, so you can't buy card packs. You have to level up, and you don't buy your levels. You legitimately have to level up by completing missions daily, which is really smart of them because it keeps you in the game, keeps you playing. Like I log in just to do my missions if I don't have time. But the thing about it, so you can't buy card packs. You have to level up, and you don't buy your levels. You legitimately have to level up by completing missions daily, which is really smart of them because it keeps you in the game, keeps you playing. Like I log in just to do my missions if I don't have time. The other thing, I think they have 3 locations on the board, and you've got to win 2 of the 3 locations with points. Having the most attack points essentially on 2 of the 3 locations to win, and each of those locations have buffs and debuffs on them, and it just adds this element of strategy to it. So your deck does matter. Last week I was like, oh, it totally doesn't matter. Well, at the beginning it really doesn't, but as you go along. Your card deck does matter, but I love that added strategy of the 3 locations on the field. It makes every game feel completely different. Every game you're playing your deck differently. There's like a strategy there. It's 6 turns. It's very fast. I like that about it. And it's smooth. It's just a good solid game. My one complaint, because I wanted to stream this game, because even the PC version it's like a mobile port over. Guys, you can't do that. Like, you should see the stream. Like, I stopped trying to stream it. I was like, nope, I'm not streaming this, because even players that do stream this game, their stream is a hot mess, because it's this. And you got to put your face on it, and you can't zoom in to see like what the cards say. So they've got to they zoom in and they put the other stuff every other place. I was looking. It's a hot mess.
Yeah, Day 9 had a pretty decent setup with it. He was playing.
It's very cluttery, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. Whereas like Hearthstone, since it has a PC build, you just put your space in the corner, and it looks good.
It's a PC game.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, mobile was obviously the lead platform on this.
Yeah. But yeah, I really enjoy it. Since then, Jordan the Man and Mr. McSpicy.
Yeah, I'm level 168.
Yeah, Jordan the Man, what are your thoughts on it?
I like it. I think it's a lot of fun. It's been added to my trading card game section so now I have 4 there. But yeah, it's in the trading card game section of my computer.
Spicy?
And it is in the rotation.
It's all right. I've played it quite a bit. There are things that I like about it. There are things that I don't like about it. It's new. I'm sure
it's still in early access. Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of improvements. What's interesting, David, I give credit to the changeability of the board state. Yep. Every location, every time you play it is different. I think that's fine. And you really like that because you said it adds strategic value. To me, though, it adds a lot of RNG that is unnecessary, in my opinion. One of the biggest complaints that a lot of people have with Hearthstone, and it's just in card game in general, is you're trying to have enough RNG chance in the game that keeps it fun and entertaining.
Sure.
That replayability, right? But at the same time, you don't want too much RNG where you can play a perfect game and still lose.
Sure.
And this game has a lot of RNG like crazy. One of the things they do to bypass the RNG, the crazy amount of RNG that they put in it, is they make it very easy to back out of a game and not lose a lot of rank.
Oh, the snap feature.
I always turn 1, I snap just for intimidation.
Yeah, I snap as well all the time.
Always. Just to intimidate.
I've had people every time because that makes it not a...
I might have played against you. I snap and have had people leave.
Yeah, because that removes the entirety of strategy, in my opinion.
It's a flex.
And it bases it completely on RNG, and I dislike that. I want to win because I played correctly. I don't want to win because the game has decided me to win.
But here's the thing. I probably have 200 matches. Just throwing a number out there. I have a lot of matches. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember one time where I feel like I got RNG screwed because of a location.
I have
because your locations come your first 3 turns. And so my strategy might change after turn 2 on how I'm going to handle, like, okay, I'll just abandon this location and go to another location,
or card order placement and stuff.
Yeah, right? But at no time, but I've never felt like those locations have caused me to lose. I might have played a location wrong, or my opponent played that location better. But I've never felt that way yet.
I have several times, and I feel as though one of the things this game. Another thing that people praise it for is the quickness of the game. Games are generally 3 minutes each, and how they do that is they have both sides taking turns at the same time. I think for a mobile game, that's absolutely necessary. For a PC game like Hearthstone or for a tabletop / PC game like Magic, I don't think it's necessary because you have the time dedicated.
You
to
like
play it.
you like the slower pace, the pacing.
So I haven't given my opinion yet. I'm just saying that's how this game remains valid on mobile, is the fact that you can have 3-minute games. I mean, mobile games, in my opinion, mobile games exist so people aren't bored while they're taking a dump. Like, that's the whole purpose mobile games exist. When you want to sit down and game, you're not generally, gamers aren't pulling out their phones. They're pulling up their PCs or pulling up their consoles, right? So to remain a valid,
or as the FTC would say, high performance gaming console,
to remain a mobile game and be, good at it, you have to have very quick matches. Now, when you have those spaces, you have those areas, the 3 areas that you have to control that are generated randomly that could screw you or could screw your opponent at any time, combined with both people taking turns at the same time, it amplifies the RNG quite a bit. It makes it for the first 3 turns, can make or break a game, not based on the cards I'm playing and where they're at, but what flips on those areas. Does that make sense, what I'm trying to say? So I feel as though the RNG is extremely high in this game. Now, how they counterbalance that is you can retreat at any time with limited or no change in your MMR if you so choose to. Yeah. And there's not a real MMR system. It's just a lock system.
Getting grades to level up,
Well, there's the ranking, which is basically Hearthstone's rank system. When you win, you go up. When you lose, you go down.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. But I think on the back end, from what I've researched, it's based on pools. So they don't necessarily put you against win or loss. They put you on what cards that you have access to and have upgraded.
Because there's 3 card pools.
Yeah, there's 3 pools.
And that's why I think it's I don't know if you'd say clever or smart or a good way to do the unlock card system as opposed to like Magic Arena or Hearthstone where you buy decks. Because I think like you said, it's I'm only going to be challenged against people in pool 1 because we all have pool 1 cards. So it somewhat keeps the game in somewhat of a balance.
Sure. So up to this point, I feel as though I've been trying to be unbiased, saying how the game I feel plays against other card games. I enjoy this and I've played it quite a bit and I will continue playing it, but I personally enjoy the time between turns.
Sure.
It's like golfing. It's like golfing with a cart and golfing without a cart.
It's like speed chess versus normal chess.
It's in golf, when you hit a crappy shot, it's nice to take a walk to where the ball lies, to think things over, to figure things out and take it again. Whereas there's no rest in between. It's constantly your turn 24/7. I like games like Magic. I like games like Hearthstone where you can take the time and you can just think about if he plays this, I can do this. And this game is great in the fact that it's like other, card games where you see a card and you instantly know, okay, this guy has a fast deck. It's a buff deck. He's got a lot of ones that are going to be buffed later on. I can try to counter that. However, without that time, it's harder for my brain personally to enjoy that constant, play. It's not as reactive as I'd like it to be. Whereas the other card games that I enjoy, it's reactive. You see what you play your turn, the other player's anticipating what I'm doing, then reacts to it, and then I do the same thing when he plays. There's that time in between. I don't think you can do that in a mobile game because of, like I said, you only have 3 minutes. 3 minutes, it's a really good time for mobile games. So my critique is the high RNG based on how the game is played. It's hard for me to deal with that because I want to win because I won.
So like watching this match though, so I'm not seeing the high RNG aspect of it. I get like the timing and the pacing for sure. But like right now, like I'm looking, okay, my opponent is clearly going for the middle. I can't read what the middle one is.
It's because we're watching the PC port.
Exactly, you're right. That I do have a complaint on. Yeah. And so it's basically move, counter move on. Okay, my strategy here, irregardless, it looks like the far one is probably something that penalized. Oh yeah, if you drop a card on that far right one, your card loses 2.
Sure.
So that's why nobody's dropped there. So like
Yet.
So I don't feel that anything.
Let me give you an
buffs
example.
you. I don't think that anything buffs you or punishes you there. It's all how you play.
Let me give you an example.
All how you play those.
Okay, let me give you an example. Right now, there is a area. What are they called? The 3
Areas, zones,
zones.
locations.
Right now, there is a zone card that's every time I pull up the game, they say, check out this area zone.
Oh yeah, they bring up new ones with each battle pass. I think is how they introduce new zones.
Gotcha. So a deck like Jordan's, he was showing me before the podcast started. It's a fast buff deck. He's got a lot of low.
It's like a zoo deck.
Yeah, exactly. It's a zoo deck. He's got a low cost cards that he will eventually buff with the higher cost of them.
And I dominate.
And
don't forget that.
Apparently he
dominate.
dominates.
I can't wait for Battlegrounds, baby, because I'm gonna rape you.
Oh dear. So you have Jordan's fast deck. There's an area that I have been getting probably 3 out of 4 times. I think because it's new.
Yeah, they do that for sure.
They push it a lot more.
Like at the end of last season, they had that duplicate. Like any cards you put down duplicates.
Sure.
Over.
Sure. So there's one that you draw 3 cards and then destroy your deck. It's called Elysium or something like that.
Yes, I keep getting that one as well. Yeah, they're doing this one. Yeah.
On a fast deck, that's almost an instant loss. Because if he does not have the cards he needs, if he only has 4 1-drop cards, he loses the game. Because he can't get the cards that he needs to buff those cards, for example. So it's an instant RNG.
Don't you have to play a card there to get its activation though?
No,
that
that one happens
that's
on
the
flip.
regardless one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that one happens on flip, and if it happens on turn 1, it's almost an instant retreat. Although you could be playing the other guy if he's your only chances.
Here's
the thing.
Wouldn't power negate that though? Because you're each at it's like the crystals, right? The mana.
You're going to run out of cards with low cost. I mean, so yeah.
No, but what I'm saying is like if it flips on turn 2, both of you only have 2 power, so you're kind of in the
Yeah,
same
it evens it
card
out because
pool.
I can't play a 6.
Does that make sense?
I have 1 6, but Jordan has 3.
I've not played that one very often, so I can't tell you
So
if it's...
it would hurt your deck substantially.
So here's the thing, though.
Based on the architect.
I'm the same. I've gotten that many times, and I have I call it a Zerg deck myself, but
Sure, okay.
But because same thing, I have the same strategy. I don't really utilize the buff as much. It's more like a control deck, probably like a Zerg control, and I win. I love it when that happens because I know I can put all my cards down faster. I very rarely I have a 1/6 card only. And I very rarely ever play that.
Sure, but your deck is probably mid tier where you have 3s or you have 2s, 3s, and 4s in it a lot more, right? You have like that.
Yeah, I do.
Sentinel's a card that duplicates, which
I actually removed Sentinel. I loved it at first, and then it got on my nerves.
Sentinel would be the card
that's like
you
the
play.
ultimate card.
You play that when just for that
there
to
it is.
happen.
Sentinel.
Sentinel.
Hey.
Right there.
There it is.
So David. So what I'm trying to say is you can build your deck. And there are decks that counter Jordan's, for sure. There are decks that counter other decks. But the fact is that it was an RNG-based deck move that hurt Jordan's deck that I have a hard time with.
Sure. I can see that.
Okay,
But that's only one location.
Yeah.
Well, but that was just an example.
Sure.
When you
But still that's one location. But I still because you still have to make a decision. So for instance, a low card deck still is not at a disadvantage because you have to. If you have a big powerful card, let's just say Hulk, right? This player has Hulk, which is a 6 card, which is
6
a 6
mana,
point,
12 power.
Yeah, he can only put that on one location, so it's how you play the other the all 3 locations.
Yeah, but I'm saying that makes it harder for specific deck archetypes to. It limits the deck archetype. You have to build your decks based on the RNG of the map, not the strategy of the other player. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
But that's what I'm saying. I think I like that, and I wouldn't call it RNG. I would say it's forcing you to make decisions based on the
RNG of the game,
based on the board changing. Yeah,
yeah, and so I can see why. I can see that being enjoyable because RNG. What that does in every game is it makes it so the game is replayable. Like it's a completely different match every single game because of the RNG. Every game has to have RNG. Even chess has RNG because you don't know if you're going to be white or black. Whoever goes first changes the whole aspect of what everything happens, right? Chess, I would say, has probably the least RNG of any game ever, but it still has it. That's what makes a game replayable. That's what makes poker fun. You don't know what cards you're going to get. You don't know how you're going to adapt. It's what makes games fun and replayable. This is just amped up really, really high.
They're going to have guilds. What's guilds going to be like? What do you do with guilds, I wonder?
We'll have an XoneBros Snap Guild.
We'll have a Snap Guild.
So, I mean, I still enjoy the game. I think it's a great game. I have things that I like.
That's your critiques.
That's my critiques. Yeah. I like to enjoy the time between games. You can't do that with a mobile game. That's what this does. Okay, that's fair. And I still play this, when I have 2 minutes, I'll pull it out and play it. But
can I say something I think we all like? I dig, and I think it was the right decision. I love their card art.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Card art's really good.
It's all
that's part of their gameplay.
I think that's like the biggest. Well, I mean, and I do like that you can upgrade your card to like as you upgrade the rarity, it goes from like 3D hollow
frame break, 3D.
So a lot of the
animation.
A lot of the style of this game is based upon the
comic books.
Well, you call it the golden era of comics, the early era of comics. It's based on traditional comics, and I love that. It's not based on the MCU. It's not based on anything like that. It's the traditional comics artwork, which I am a huge fan of. I think that's probably its greatest strength. Is not even the gameplay, is the art style.
The art style of their card art,
fantastic. I love seeing all these characters that Marvel, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has not taken and destroyed.
Well, what's funny is that this guy's playing Quicksilver, and I didn't even know Quicksilver till you guys talked about Quicksilver last match. Quicksilver, he's a mainstay in my deck, by the way.
Well, he's
guaranteed.
He's great. A lot of we could probably talk about this later, but
it's not even on Xbox.
There's a lot of debate going on whether Quicksilver or not is statistically a good choice in the deck. I think I put him in every deck.
Oh yeah,
because
he's an automatic.
He's your guaranteed draw.
One drop draw.
Yeah, automatic.
Anyways, I'm sorry if I bored everyone. That was good. That was good.
It will be interesting to see this early access, how it evolves. But I definitely think it has a bright future.
What's great is it's Ben Brode who made this game with his.
Well, that's what made you play it.
That's honestly, I was not interested in this game whatsoever. Even last week, we had that whole discussion about mobile games and how they suck.
Sure.
And I still agree, mobile games suck. You cannot put the greatest mobile game against any of the greatest games of consoles or PCs games. I think mobile games in general suck, and we talked about how unethical. Early on, that is an unethical. How unethical, for sure. But it's unethical stuff is so common in mobile. No one says anything.
Well,
it's just the nature of mobile, and I think that sucks.
I think, to be fair, unethical is kind of common in most games nowadays.
Well, because they're all trying to use the mobile format because it makes so much damn money.
I think that's why, why Elden Ring was a great game, because it was just a traditional $60 game that you paid for, and you got what you paid for.
Let's talk.
Hold on. I was not finished.
Ben Brode.
Ben Brode. Yeah, I'm a big fan of his, and the only reason I even downloaded this game was because I found out that this was Ben Brode's baby.
His studio that made it.
It was his studio, and when he accepted the award. He's like, it's so scary to start a new company. So he left Hearthstone and started his own company, and this was his project. That's why I gave it a chance, and it's a good card game. It's a good card game.
I think we said this earlier, but Ben Brode is the reason Hearthstone is very fun.
Yeah. So congratulations to Ben Brode and his team for making a good card game.
Let's talk about some of the trailers that dropped, and then we'll get out of here. We spent a lot of time on Snap, but it's a big part of my life now.
Yeah, good.
Why don't Hearthstone and like this? I hope these come to console. It just makes sense. It's easy. Why not do it? Just do it.
Well, it will now that unless the FTC has anything.
Yeah,
it will. I have a feeling every Blizzard game that they have ever made. I mean, I think we're going to get Hot and Roll Racing.
Oh yeah,
Rock and Roll,
be awesome.
Hot and Roll, Rock and Roll Racing.
I think I am a huge advocate of World of Warcraft coming to the console. It'll do nothing but help. Yeah. A lot, you don't need add-ons to necessarily play the game. I think it can thrive on console.
Yeah, let's talk about Diablo.
Oh yeah, speaking of
the Diablo trailer.
Yeah,
Jordan, go through the Diablo trailer. This dropped during Game Awards. Wow.
Inarius.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry, I pulled it
that
up.
trailer.
Dude,
so
can I just say, when she like bows down,
and the spears
and
go over
and
here.
they're like long spears, and they pull them back and put. It's like, whoa! It's so cool.
It is.
People may not agree with this, but I told Mark before the show. I said Blizzard used to be the best cinematics in the business, and I think this cinematic puts them back on top. Like this
Dude.
cinematic was
I'm here for
awesome.
you.
Yeah, with Inarius and Lilith is who those two and I love when the angel comes down and he slams on the ground. Like
Yeah.
it's like the power of an angel. You know, like and it's just watching this trailer and this is the only game where I think I might get excited for this comment. It may be a Rockstar game too, but a while back they said that Diablo is not a game you want to play with your kids. Diablo 4.
That was the case in Diablo 1.
And
Diablo
I think
2.
I think I heard that and I went, all right, good. And then you see this.
It's about time.
Yeah. And I don't mean that. I mean I don't mean that in a bad way, but it has that. This feels like what Diablo 1 and more so 2. Like it's dark. It's like when she's walking in this trailer and you see the skin burning off her feet because they're in hell. It's just
Diablo 1 when
this trailer's powerful.
When that trailer hit with the crows and the bodies, that was at that time no one saw that in games, except Mortal Kombat. But
It is the style of Diablo. It is a very it's a war between heaven and hell, which by the way, from a story perspective, is a very fascinating story, heaven and hell. But what do you think a war between heaven and hell would look like? Not pretty, not for the kids.
Look like this.
But this is such a good trailer.
yeah, it's phenomenal and it's really exciting. If you have not seen this trailer, do yourself a favor, just Google or just go on YouTube and just search
Diablo 4 official release date
Yeah,
trailer. What was the release date? Six.
It's
something,
like
23?
June or early mid next year.
Yeah, I think it was
20.
6,
I remember
23.
23.
Yeah, hell breaks loose June 23rd or something like that.
Yeah.
So, but I'm one thing,
Watch
just
this,
one
here we
last
go. Wait,
thing.
hold on. Here we go.
Oh, when she bows down and the spears come out.
come out, and then they pull them back. Look, and they're like really long. Oh,
They're
that's
moving
so
forward.
cool.
And then even when Inarius moves forward because he sees Lilith,
She's like looking through the crowd.
from a lore perspective, I mean, from what I've seen from the combat, the combat looks very similar to Diablo 3, which, it's good and bad, I guess. I mean, depends on what you felt about the combat of Diablo 3, but everything else about the game, like art style, story direction, like feels like it's going back to the roots of Diablo. But I'm very excited for the lore of this game because the story between Inarius and Lilith is really
awesome.
it's really good.
It's like the basis of a lot.
Yeah, it's those two got together and birthed the world. And then they got divorced, and here we are. Like that's essentially. I mean, there's a lot more to it, but the gist of it is right
that's
there.
pretty much it.
Yeah, the gist of it is there. They birthed Sanctuary basically because
C6623. Yeah.
it's such a cool. I love the lore of this game. It's so cool because isn't Lilith's dad Mephisto, which is the Lord of Hatred, right? Isn't he? And he was like a douche of a dad, right? So
Well, he's hatred.
yeah,
He would be.
yeah,
a
but
douche.
it's. I'm really excited. I think most of all, I'm excited for the lore of the game. Yeah, it
looks phenomenal.
This trailer got me hyped.
Hopefully, there's a lot of mobile influences in this game.
Also, I do wonder though, like if you're
like not sharing what the battle pass date would be and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Hopefully.
So they are going to have a battle pass, and look, I will take them. I get it. A lot of people don't trust Blizzard, and they're upset with Blizzard. I 100% get it. We'll see when the game comes out, and that's when I'll make my judgment. But they have been pretty clear that the battle pass, there's going to be a free track that all the free track will have is it'll have like double XPs and stuff for alternate characters and other stuff like that everybody can get. And the paid track is 100% cosmetic only, which I can live with. I do think there is a place for earning cosmetics in game, like, being like in World of Warcraft collecting mounts, or same here in Diablo. I do hope they have some of that, so you can be like, oh man, that guy's got that death charger, he must be a bad A.
Yeah.
But as far as Blizzard has explained, it's not going to be Diablo Immortal. It's going to be the battle pass is strictly cosmetic for a paid tier, right? The only controversial thing that's coming out right now, which I think some people are upset, some people don't care, is the early access that you're going to be able to get if you pay more money, which is I think like a 4-day early access to the game. But anyway, other than that,
Well, a lot of people do that, don't they?
Yeah,
technically,
but
like even EA, I'm
but
paying extra to play.
Depending on how the game is set up, like if there's an auction house and which I think there is going to be, an early access can be a form of pay to win because you can get the material and depending on. I don't think they're going to. From what I heard, I think it was Riker I was listening to on YouTube. He's a Diablo content creator.
Riker? I like that name.
Yeah, he's really cool.
Does he have a beard?
Yeah, he does actually. He does
straddle the chair.
He does have a beard. Yeah, no. But no, I think he said something about like a lot of the stuff isn't coming out until the release of season 1, and by that time everybody will have a chance to play it. So anyway, we'll just see how it goes. But everything so far Blizzard has said, and they do have Rod Ferguson over on the team, who I do like. He spearheaded the coalition for Gears. Everything they've said, it's, they're saying the right things so far. So we'll see how the actual game turns out. But as for this cinematic, it is awesome.
Yeah, it's very good. It's cool. Dude,
cool. I love how the demons are like cowering in fear.
Yeah,
because these are the big dogs.
The other game that stood out to me that interested me was Crime Boss.
Oh, that game looks awesome.
That one looks pretty good. I'll pull that up.
And we didn't even really see game. I don't know what it's about.
You kind of saw gameplay.
Oh, did you?
You saw snippets of gameplay. I almost think it's going to be multiplayer as well. It has
a very Rockstar feel, very Grand Theft Auto feel to it. But the voice actors that they've got, whoa.
The cast is stacked.
Yes, stacked like the wolf pack.
Yeah, you got what's the guy's name from Walking Dead? Daryl's brother. But you got Glover.
Danny Glover in this. Yeah,
you got Michael Madsen. You got one of my personal. You got Vanilla Ice. That was hilarious seeing him. Kim Basinger and the big one, Chuck Norris.
It's really funny, and I think they're playing to like these voice actors like attributes and what they've been known for. Like Danny Glover's character is called Gloves.
That's like a Lethal Weapon scene there that they showed.
Yeah, it looks. I don't even know what this game is. Do we know anything about it?
They showed some first-person shooter stuff there at the beginning.
Yeah, it looks like I haven't looked too into it. I'm sure they have stuff, but it almost gives me like Payday vibes.
Linear story. Is it going to be a linear
not
story?
Payday vibes? No, but it does give me some Payday vibes. I think it's. I don't know. I'll have to look into it more. But the trailer.
Yeah, watch. So right after this, you'll see like on the left-hand side, you'll see like first-person shooter. When they do their first or second break here.
Well, and there's one where if you pause it, you can see names above players' heads, which usually you don't have names above their heads in a single player. I think that might be a multiplayer aspect.
Right.
So is it going to be like a Left 4 Dead? Or I guess.
So right there, see on the left-hand side, look, you're walking around on that boat. With a gun in your hand.
Shooter.
I didn't catch that.
And if you keep going, I think the next one's
the big one where they show.
Is the multiplayer. No, so the one after this. So flying a jet, maybe.
Left-hand side.
He's the vehicle mission right there.
Right here.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, is that boobs?
Yeah,
you
might
just
be.
stopped on boobs.
Yeah, so right there. So see how he's pulling out his gun, and then you have character names Jupiter. I think that might be like a multiplayer thing, maybe, or maybe that's just.
Well, Payday would be as a co-op. Could it be co-op?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Like I said, I haven't looked super into it. I just saw the trailer and I was incredibly excited.
Yeah, you're right. What name is that?
Jupiter.
Jupiter.
And then it looks like you're playing as Touchdown.
Yeah, Jupiter Touchdown.
So.
Interesting.
But Jupiter, those look like NPCs.
Maybe, I don't know.
Because
but why would
they're not shooting? They're not
why would you put the player name above it?
See, look at right there, bottom left corner.
Oh, I just missed
on that one, like heavy machine gun fire.
So
I think linear. Good. I think linear.
Yeah,
story.
I'm excited.
So Crime Boss.
I'm gonna say there's gonna be a little multiplayer in it.
Can I say moving on to the next game that I want to showcase? I watched this earlier and I thought to myself, I'm going to have to get a PlayStation.
Final Fantasy. Yeah, we got to talk about Final Fantasy.
So Final Fantasy comes out next year.
Well, you guys talk LP.
And it comes out exclusively on the PlayStation. I believe it was June 23rd. I may be a little off on those dates, but I think it was June 23rd. But it does say at the end, not available on other platforms until December 31st, 2023. So it may come to Xbox. So we might just have to wait for the console exclusivity to go up. But it also may be one of those things where it only comes to PC after that. So maybe that is the console exclusive, and then it comes to PC. But it does say other platforms, as in plural. So maybe I hope we get it on Xbox because I think Final Fantasy is a great series. The more people that can play it is awesome. I mean, and this one looks awesome. This is from Yoshi P. The guy, he's one of the greats in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think there's Todd Howard, there's Miyazaki, There's Yoshi P, and there's Hideo Kojima.
Yeah.
I think
several
those.
of
I think those are the greats, man. Those are. Did I say Todd Howard?
You
I think he's
did
one of
say
the
Todd
greats
Howard,
too. Yeah.
No, so we're watching gameplay right now, and it looks phenomenal. As every Final Fantasy, I mean, what they're doing is they're just throwing cutscenes together from the game, which, I mean, Final Fantasy cutscenes are pretty epic anyways.
And then they're showing bad.
Oh, and yeah, they're showing gameplay like
the combat system looks smooth.
it looks really, really, really good. And if you haven't played a modern Final Fantasy, they're very, very fun. They're fun to play. I think the last one I played was 15, which I think was the last one they released.
Yeah.
Oh, no. They did Final Fantasy 8. Or no, 7. Final Fantasy 7 remake. Which, by the way, have they come out with...
We're getting Crisis Core on the Xbox later this year, and I think Part 2 is coming out at the end of the year. Actually, I think Part 2 is... When does Crisis... I think Crisis Core comes out in December.
You know what frustrates me?
It might already be out.
What frustrates me is releasing a game in parts and then going years between the releases.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
I would have preferred the game to be together. I mean, when it initially came out, Final Fantasy VII Remake, I thought it was going to be like, okay, we get part 1 6 months later, part 2 6 months, and that I could have lived with. I still would have preferred a full release, but I'm like, okay, I can live with that, right? But this is much. I would have rather have waited for the whole experience, because Final Fantasy VII Remake, what they've done with it is, I think, incredible.
Yeah,
they've added stuff that I think is good. I don't think it takes away from the original game. I think it, if anything, amplifies it. But
yeah, I mean, I agree. Well, we're watching the trailer for this. If you haven't seen the trailer, go watch this.
It's one of the best trailers I've ever seen in my life.
Jordan, when he walked into my house,
June 22nd.
When he walked in, he's like, "Mark, I think I've seen the best trailer I've ever seen."
It's one of the, because they hit it hard.
That's what he started out his day with telling me. But no, it looks very, very good. I watched this and I thought, okay, I gotta figure out, am I going to be buying a PlayStation 5 now?
Yeah.
Because, I mean, and that's the vibe. I mean, we were talking about this on the beginning of the show. It's kind of the vibe I'm getting. I'm feeling, yeah, we have Game Pass, which is awesome. I play more games than I ever have, that should be noted. But it would be so nice to have these games.
Yeah, like what if
launch.
Microsoft, I'm not just saying Final Fantasy, but what if Microsoft had a game that generated this much hype and excitement and delivered
that's a good way to put it.
on release date, right?
It would be so nice to just have this on the most powerful, world's most powerful console. You know what I mean? That would be nice. It would just be nice. I think I'm
probably going to play, if it does come to Xbox, I'll play it twice for the achievements. I'll play it on PlayStation because I got my PS5. And then when it comes to Xbox, if it does, I'm hoping it does.
If they announce that it's going to come to Xbox in 6 months, maybe I'll wait. But this is one of the, I mean, I really enjoy.
Why wait when you can play it twice?
That's the thing. That's the thing.
Because you can play it and experience it and relax and enjoy it the first playthrough, and then you can just achievement hunt that second playthrough.
Yeah. Anyways, it looks really, really good. I'm super excited. Anything else?
One that, I mean, we've talked about all the ones that I liked. You know, Diablo, Crime Boss. There's a Jedi Survivor was a really good one. We probably don't have enough time to go into that one. But one
we can talk whatever we want.
Well, one I just wanted to mention is I just wanted to mention Meet Your Maker. I think that one can be really interesting. So Meet Your Maker is basically Super Mario Maker meets Doom, and I'm kind of excited to see how it works. Basically, people make like this death dungeon, and you go in and try and complete it. It looks like a really good time, and I kind of it's on my radar now. We'll see how it goes as we learn more about it. But it was kind of a fun little game, and I think it looks cool.
I'm gonna put that
Super
up.
Mario Maker meets Doom.
I'm gonna put that up right now. I don't.
Yeah, just skip to like the middle of the trailer.
Okay.
But yeah, so he's going through the dungeon and he killed that guy because he remembered, and then he's running and he dies, right? And then it's try again, attempt 2. So, okay, now I know that part, so I'm going to go through it.
3D 1001 Spikes.
Kinda, but at the very end, it shows people creating the dungeon. So it's like, that's why I said it's like someone is creating this.
Oh, like that's what you mean by Mario Maker.
Yeah, so it's Super Mario Maker meets Doom. Is the vibe I'm getting. Because at the end of the trailer, it shows, and it does it look. I think there's co-op in it, so that's kind of cool. So, but yeah, at the end of the trailer, it shows people using the creation tool to make these dungeons. So yeah, it looks cool. I kind of that's kind of what I want. I just want a Super Mario Maker meets Doom.
That's pretty. Oh, here we go.
So there's the build.
Gameplay a little bit. Okay. Oh, interesting. All right, check this game out too.
Yeah, I think it's
Meet Your Maker.
It's on my radar now, right? We'll see what goes with it, but it's on my radar. So
awesome. I'm gonna go over the list real quick too that they showcased. See if anything pops up.
Oh, the other one I'm incredibly excited for, and I've been excited for years, is Blue Protocol. We got a phenomenal trailer for Blue Protocol.
Heck yeah.
It's coming out next year. It's on all consoles, PC. I hope it does the cross-platform because I think that game would benefit from it because it's kind of going to be a MMO style type game. But it's anime art style, which I know kind of depends on your.
It looks very good.
Some people like it, some people don't. But this, like the first scene that they show, looks super crisp when they're walking through this village. It looks cool. So this one I'm very excited for as well.
And it's by Bandai Namco. What's funny is it's
Amazon
also
right there. Pause that.
Amazon
That
Games.
looks good.
Wait, what game is this?
This is Blue Protocol.
Oh, Blue Protocol.
Yeah, I've been excited for this.
Right?
Well, they're not really calling it an MMO because I don't know if they're trying to like stay away
More
from
like
that stigma.
a Genshin Impact.
But it's an MMO.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, coming to all the consoles. I do hope it has the cross-play because I think in these types of games, if it, leaves,
they have apparently Amazon Games is a part developer.
Well, they're publishing
publisher?
for the West,
Amazon
I believe.
Games?
Or no, are they publishing global? I think they're publishing global.
Isn't Bandai a publisher? What?
Well, I think they're I don't know. They are because Bandai Namco publishes.
Amazon might be the distributor.
Maybe, yeah, because Bandai Namco publishes from software.
It says Amazon Games though, so maybe they might be developing it.
Maybe they're giving the servers for free.
They're not developing it. Well, I think they're westernizing it.
Westernizing it.
Yeah, so they like they did with like Lost Ark and
you
stuff.
got to give Amazon credit. They're doing what Google has been unable to do, and that is get into the gaming business in a meaningful way.
Well,
it's yet to be meaningful.
Lost Ark.
Well, okay, so a lot of people were not excited for Amazon to publish it because of previous things, but
Lost Ark crushed it though.
Well,
it's still crushing.
There was some issues launching it and stuff like that.
Is it still going?
And
I think
still
going?
I think even the game director was like, "Yeah, Amazon, it's their fault, but whatever."
Well, but it's doing really well. What's the other one? What's their MMO that
New World?
And a lot of people are saying that the foundation is there and the new changes are awesome.
Their recent updates have been good. But no, I just someone made the comment today, I forget who it was, different people on YouTube. I think it might have been MMO Byte or something. But anyway, they basically were saying like I understand people are upset with the Amazon doing the publishing, but who else would do it? Like not who else would do it, but like who else would do it, I guess, quote unquote, better at that scale because they're doing it globally, I believe. I mean, they are the server company.
I think it's smart for Amazon. If Amazon to get into gaming, this is smart.
Oh yeah, from their perspective, yeah, they're getting into the market. But oh, dude, this game looks so. I'm excited to play with you guys.
I mean, technically, Amazon's in gaming like at the back end.
Yeah,
a lot
on the hosting side.
Yeah, on the
stuff,
internet side of things,
yeah.
They are the backbone of a lot of internet.
I've been excited for this game for years. I'm excited it's finally coming. I'm excited it's coming to all platforms. I really hope they all cross between each other because I think in MMO style games, that's a benefit.
Yeah.
I think this is an MMO?
Yeah.
All right. It's a gray area.
It's one of those things where it's
I'll
like,
see what they call it. I'll see what they call it.
It's an MMO, but I think that they, if you notice with their like marketing, they're not. I think they're marketing it as a co-op action adventure.
So more like,
but it is an MMO. It's
like
kind of.
Is this going to be like Monster Hunter?
No.
Blue Protocol describes itself as an upcoming MMORPG.
Yeah, but like every time they market it, they kind of leave that word out.
Yeah,
but I think they do that for marketing reasons.
Because MMO has the stigma.
I think it has like. It has a bad taste attached to it right now.
That's
maybe
what they're saying. That it's not being marketed as such because the term is scary to casuals, and they want more casual player. Interesting. I'm not gonna lie. There is like, see, that's why I think kind of the traditional MMO genre maybe dead. Like I've said that for a while.
This is going to be interesting. I don't know how they're going to monetize or what they're going to do, if it's going to be like a gotcha style game or what they're going to do when they bring it to the West here. But it looks so good. I hope it's just a traditional, not pay to win game.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, chances of that being a thing.
I think those are getting less and less.
Probably low.
Yeah.
But
we have a lot of hope for this one.
Especially if it's coming from the East.
Yeah, but we have a lot of hope for this one.
Yep.
I've been waiting for this one for years, though.
David brings up a valid point.
Yeah.
They don't like to pay for games, but they like to pay a lot more for free games.
Yeah,
They don't pay for the game. They pay for the cosmetics inside the game. They pay for the leveling, the ability to level inside the game.
Look, I can live with buying cosmetics. I do think there's an argument to be had that earning cosmetics through games, through like different challenges, is valid, and I hope games continue to do that. I think that's what like Halo needs to do.
I think
right?
that's what the Marvel Snap gameplay loop. I think is really good that way.
But I can live with cosmetics being purchasable. I'm okay with that. What I don't like is spend $5 and now you're level 55 and you're a god.
I don't mind that.
Well, I mean, Marvel Snap has paid like you can buy Silver Surfer, and I think he's a pull 3 card for this battle pass.
Yeah, but he's the only card in that battle pass, isn't he, or something like that?
But he's tier like you.
Yeah.
You buy. There's no reason to buy that battle pass unless you're.
I'm not gonna lie. On the criticism of Marvel Snap, their battle passes leave a lot to be desired.
Yeah. Well, so let me bring up Hearthstone about the battle pass, because I was actually thinking about this. Their battle pass, paid battle pass, sucks.
The free one's decent.
The free one's okay, which is the opposite of everything else. And then I was thinking, well, they want people to buy card packs. They don't necessarily want people to buy the battle pass.
The battle pass, yeah, they make all their money off card packs.
So
there's like it's an added option for you to spend money if you want to, but it's not their focus.
Yeah, they make far more millions of dollars getting me to buy 80 packs every DLC that they have, every expansion that they have. That's interesting. I don't think any other game does. Do you know of any games that purposefully make their battle pass suck so you'll buy cards? Well, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point.
Because,
I still think.
I mean, I argue that Hearthstone is pay to win. So.
I think any card game is pay to win. I agree with that.
But Marvel Snap
it's
not necessary. It has a little bit, but not a lot.
Yeah, Marvel Snap I think has changed that in a good way to where you earn it, and you can't really buy those green levels. I call them green levels because there's a lot of levels.
Yeah, they're
They do the.
Well, it's because what you're doing, the battle pass, when you buy the battle pass, it helps you level up faster.
Which I would argue is bad. You do not want to level up faster because there's two sides of leveling. There's the leveling where you get the cards, and then there's the...
I see what you're saying.
I think you only
level. I'm talking about level up to get the cards. It helps you that. Leveling up the other side, you really only level up if you fast, if you all snap in, and you win.
I always snap all in.
I think
because I did hit a level. I went undefeated for levels and levels and levels. I actually think there's a lot of bots in that game that they're like, it's like AI bots that I'm playing that are making stupid decisions, And I'm like, this makes me feel good about myself.
When you hit, I know, and I think,
and then I hit like 30. It was like at 30 that all of a sudden
the
it was
difficulty
like,
curve ramped up.
this is a player making decisions.
Well, and see, that's the thing. Well, I think leveling up in that game faster than you're playing is that you go to a disadvantage because then you're playing people with way more experience.
Yeah. Yeah, you definitely know when you hit that tone, though, because you start to lose a little bit.
Yeah, so I guess you're right. Marvel Snap does a good job of not making the cards pay to win. But Mark said it before, and I agree.
But every card game...
Pokemon, Magic, and Hearthstone, the most powerful card in all three of those games is your debit card.
Physical card games, if you do those physical... it's all about buying packs. Who has the most packs has
if
the
you
most
want to win.
If you take physical Magic the Gathering and then like Magic the Gathering Arena... The most powerful card in both those games are the debit card.
Your debit card is OP.
Same with Yu-Gi-Oh! Same with Pokemon.
It's overpowered.
I still think if
all those
Blizzard,
games have one universal card.
If Blizzard came out with physical packs, I would buy them.
I know you would. Do you remember us playing? What are those hero clicks?
Oh yeah,
we would buy. Me and Jordan were excited buying let's get these packs. Let's make our David
Well,
goes right up to the guy. What's your most powerful one? I want to buy. He goes and
I think it
buys
cost me like $60 or something.
So
for a
Hero-
little
$60
click
for one hero click
One
that
click hero
we
So
could not
this,
kill.
no, this is what happens. So HeroClix has a balance to that. It's a point system. So you say like, okay, we play 100-point games. So you can get 250s or you can do 425s or you can build a team, right? So that's how we were playing. And then David bought like Slaghorn, and he's like a 600-point guy. And when David was like, oh yeah, let's play. And we're like, David, we only play 100-point games. Nope, we're playing 600 points, and he just throws that thing on the battlefield, and we're like, we can't fight this guy.
It has different phases.
Yeah.
Like we kill him, and he's like, nope.
Yeah, you have to kill him like
You have to
3
kill him.
times.
He gets a revive.
Yeah, every time he dies, and it's like, what the heck?
Are ClickUps still a thing?
It's HeroClix
Or HeroClix?
not
Yeah.
ClickUps.
Yeah, you call it click ups because you're just
Yeah, you were
Well,
constantly
that-
clicking up. Yeah.
No, ClickUp is a software.
Yeah, you
that I
literally.
use.
We went to the game store. You literally paid $60.
Yeah,
and I think we
'cause
all
you know,
stopped
like,
playing that game.
when they have the most
like a week
valuable
later.
cards out of the pack and stuff. That's
Yeah.
when
I
I was
actually
like,
think that's the last
that
HeroClix
one.
game I played. Was when I
we were
you
like,
ended my career.
we're not playing this anymore.
broke it.
when you paid to win.
HeroClix was a cool concept. Flawed. Again, it was just too complicated. They needed to simplify. There's too many. It's Magic's problem. Magic the Gathering. It's what Hearthstone solved for Magic. They simplified it.
I think
I would actually like to interject here.
Interject. Go ahead.
Magic, I think Magic, Pokemon, and Hearthstone. I think Magic is the most complicated. Hearthstone after that, and then Pokemon I think is the simplest. I think all those games are very easy to play compared to Yu-Gi-Oh! I've been watching. I follow these card guys on YouTube. I've been watching Yu-Gi-Oh! This week. I do not understand. Like
What's happening?
that game is, there's like 50 billion ways you can summon monsters. Like you can win on turn one.
Yeah, my
You
problem
get,
is like when
that game
every
is so
card, like when I
complicated.
have to like, I've never heard of this rule before, and then that's what Magic does all the time, and that's what ClickUp did. It was like,
Well,
well,
no.
wait a minute, what about this player has this ability? This is a new ability that I've never seen. We got to go to this freaking handbook to look it up.
Magic, I think is Magic has steps. You follow those steps, and within those steps, you do what the card says. Like everything, like you have your mana, then you have your
but you can-
combat,
okay, but
and then
this
you
is-
have instants that you can do at any
But,
time.
okay,
Like I think it's generally a
unless you're
simple
a
game to understand.
super fan in high-end tournaments and you've studied the crap out of the rule book. Whenever there's an interpretation argument that you inevitably get in when someone drops a new card and it has the paragraph and you're like, I don't think that means what you think it means.
then you
I think you're playing
you
that
read
wrong.
the card, and yeah, I mean you can have a debate, but I mean,
So, David,
But
most
that's
of the
my
cards are
problem. There should be no room for debate.
No, so David,
Yeah.
what you are saying is how you want the world to be.
No, but what I'm
there
saying
are-
is
no,
that's
hold-
how Hearthstone
let me finish. Let me finish.
made it better. They simplified that.
Let me finish.
Okay.
There
Go
there is an audience out there that like complicated. You are obviously not that audience.
So complicated is the wrong word.
I wouldn't say
would
Magic
use-
is complicated. Yu-Gi-Oh
Yeah,
is complicated.
I think complicated
Well,
is the
you
wrong
get what I'm saying.
I mean,
There's an audience that likes.
I would say bloated.
Okay, we can use that. I mean,
Yeah.
tomato. You know, a rose
I like-
lantern. Any
I
other
like
name would
the-
smell sweet. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. What you like and dislike is not necessarily you. They like, for example,
Sure.
HeroClix don't care about you. They
That's true.
obviously don't.
No, but okay, that's
they-
fine.
you are
That's
not
fine,
their
but
audience.
that's fine, but where are they? Because they didn't care about me. They're not taking off. They're not the
I
next
mean,
big
we don't
thing.
have the numbers in front of us.
Well, yeah,
maybe
but-
they're-
But they're not the next big thing. They're not taking over culturally because everybody that does makes it accessible to because there's a complication. There's strategy in the simplicity, right? Chess is like the pinnacle of strategy because there's a set of rules. There's no variant from those rules.
Well, but see, that's what I'm getting at is that's your opinion. I would argue that there's a huge audience that likes a lot of rules to learn. I mean, you have any what League of Legends, Dota, a lot of games add in.
Well, League of Legends has like 500 characters.
That's what I'm
and
saying.
10 of them are viable. Like that's how League of Legends balances.
Well, yeah, but they do that for money. So, but what I'm saying is, I mean, look at Dungeons and Dragons. Like how many books do you have to understand rules? And there is an audience that appreciates and enjoys levels of difficulty in understanding and rules and stuff like that.
Sure.
That is not you. You obviously do not like that. Your favorite card game is a game you play in 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's awesome.
There is a joy. I do like when I'm playing Magic and the guy across the table, like, or even because I play Magic Arena too, like when they play a card and I've never seen it, there's that kind of, there's kind of an excitement to like, a brand new card I've never seen. Actually, fun example. This week, Hearthstone dropped their new expansion. And there's a card that it's been out for a while, but I've never used it and never really cared about it. Mark knows what card it is. I'm playing and I'm dominating this fool. Like I'm up like 50 health. And he's down at 10. He throws down this card. Game's over. I lost.
Denathrius.
Yeah, Sire Denathrius. And I was like, what the? And I looked at it and I was like, holy shit. And what I did is I immediately went and crafted that card. He's in the deck now. He's a winner.
He's like
he's so overpowered.
Yeah, he's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would just like to retort Mark's point there.
How do you retort that there are other people that aren't you?
Because it's not my opinion. It's fact. And the fact is that in order to have mass market success, to be the best, you got to de-bloat your the best.
Well, no,
StarCraft is StarCraft because they did just that.
Well, I think there is. I think you're right in the respect that like Magic does that in their standard format because there's so many, and Hearthstone does it too, right? There's so many cards that they have to kind of make a cutoff to keep things balanced.
Sure.
Hero Clicks, when you bought that card, that click that just dominated.
Yeah, like Hero Clicks, the reason that card dominated is because there's this new ability all of a sudden that we didn't know about, and you have to like go search through the rule books.
Well, okay, the problem with Hero Clicks
There's
is
no
their official
set.
rules were super unclear.
Yeah, that's
we
what
had to
I'm
like
saying.
download them from like a Chinese site through a VPN.
Yeah, like the newest,
And like print them out. It was like
giant
okay, I think this is
handbooks.
the card.
Meanwhile, during our entire conversation, we've been rolling Jedi Survivor.
Looks so good.
And chat's like, well, Jedi Survivor looks great.
Yeah, it looks really good.
This is the show, man. Sometimes David just wants to tell the world how right he is.
Yeah, let me tell you this rant. You know what? I have a channel, X1 the Gamer. I'm just going to start leaving my rants there. Go check it out. X1 the Gamer on YouTube. Just search it. I'm just going to start ranting. A daily rant with X1.
There were, to finalize kind of my thoughts on the Game Awards, I'm not an award show person. I've mentioned that. But there were a lot of awesome trailers.
Yeah.
A lot of good announcements. It was really fun to just go through and see all the trailers that have been released. I strongly suggest going and just seeing some of them. A lot of the indie ones, I saw Hades 2 is coming out. I saw that trailer. It looks phenomenal.
Yeah.
We're watching Jedi Survivor while we're having this discussion right now. There's a lot of fun things coming out. I strongly recommend just going and watching some trailers. Watch the Diablo trailer. Watch the Final Fantasy trailer.
No,
Crime Boss.
I actually, like I said earlier, I thought the Game Awards show was pretty good this year, considering everything that happened.
The content was good. My problem is just with the format.
Yeah,
Well,
but
it's 4.5 hours.
Yeah, that's a problem.
That's not
But,
a mobile game.
no, I
If it's
actually
longer than Lord of the Rings, you've got issues.
no, and
You could
I
probably
actually,
cut some stuff.
I do actually think that a lot of there are some weird categories like we talked about earlier, but I think the people that won, I think, deserved their wins, right?
Yeah,
I'll say this now because I know there's going to be
go
comments.
ahead.
I will even give it to Stray. It's not my type of game, but Stray was probably a good game and deserved to win where it won. I'll say it. But no, like I'm just really glad. I think God of War won where it needed to win. I think Elden Ring. Well, like it's. I thought every game that won was relatively, good.
And man, this is one of our longer podcasts that we've done in a while, so let's go ahead and get out of here. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in and listening. Again, don't forget to head over, leave a 5-star review wherever you listen to us. Share us with your friends. Next week is our last podcast of the year. We will be back the first week of January. I think it's like January 7th typically that we come back. So join us next week for our last episode of the year. Thank you very much for everybody for tuning in. A big week for news. Have a great week. Enjoy your Xbox gamification.
Nice.
Yes.